cleanup, the designated hitter Hayden Guerin. Batting fifth at first base, Robert McCall. Batting sixth, the shortstop, Rhett Groves. The catcher, Elijah Rodriguez, batting seventh. At second base, batting eighth, Blake Harmon. And batting ninth, the third baseman, Carson Hagan. And on the mound for the Trinity Tigers, getting his first start of the season, Luke Pfeiffer, the sophomore from Valencia, California. Got a couple of starts at the end of last year in playoff baseball. Talk about pressure packed. And now he is back on the bump to face the purple and gold from Belton. And we are just about ready to get underway. It is Betts, it is Pfeiffer, and here we go. Swing and a miss, strike one.
Luke Pfeiffer going right after him, right in the zone. Off to a good start today.
Got the sophomore pitcher against the freshman hitter, and the curveball just misses a little bit inside. Tyler Betts has earned himself playing time quickly in his career with the Crusaders. Talking to head coach Mike Stosky before the game, explaining why, as he takes ball two up high, 2 balls, 1 strike. The freshman just getting an opportunity here and there to play, and now it's turned into an everyday role because he has capitalized on his opportunities, hitting .282 and hitting leadoff. Here he lines one up the middle, and it's through for a base hit. Tyler Betts gets the crew going. Nobody on, nobody out with 1 on.
This pitch going to get in on him pretty quickly, as you're going to see the replay here. Inside, really able to just fight it off, but it's going to go right up the middle. And sometimes it's just about location, as he gets this game off to a good start for the Crusaders.
From a freshman just getting experience with the crew to a junior who has been a catalyst from the start of his career, Caden DeBerardini. And he shows bunt, but it gets away. Runner was going anyway. All sorts of movement for the crew. And it ends up with a runner on second now as Betts moves up. And DeBerardini ahead in the count, so Mary Hardin-Baylor coming off a very tough weekend in Marshall. They got swept by East Texas Baptist, but looking to correct it in this midweek game before heading back into conference play. These Tuesday games, you never know what you're going to get. The 1-0 to DeBerardini, misses high, ball 2.
Yeah, that's a good point. The Crusaders just got swept by ETBU, another team that's looking to get right. Both of these teams coming off of dissatisfying weekends. You can have that opportunity to play on Tuesday as opposed to waiting a whole week.
2-0 to DeBerardini, misses high once again. Pfeiffer can't loop in the breaking ball. And the junior, who is hitting .341 in full command of this count. Scott Betts at second. Nobody away here as we get started, and it's ball 4 in the turf. So the crew, as the umbrellas go up in the stands, rain starting to fall a little bit, and Pfeiffer will get an early visit to the mound from pitching coach Dave Smith.
It's interesting the difference between that first at-bat and those other at-bats was going after the hitters early, but now it seems like that first hit got to him a little bit. It just has to settle down here.
And it's actually head coach Tim Scannell making the quick visit, so saw the quick visit. Sometimes we assume it's going to be Dave right away, but it is Coach Scannell who is giving Pfeiffer some words of wisdom. And Luke telling me before the start is he's always pitching like he has bases loaded. Stressful situation, pressure packed. He's always amped up, ready to go. And right now, that walk, you can tell a little rattled, not hitting the strike zone after the base hit. See if Coach Scannell can calm him down a little bit after that conversation.
Yeah, I think that's all it is. It's still early in this ball game, so plenty of opportunities to correct this. Only first and second, so not easy to get out of it, but definitely possible. Just needs to find his stuff again, start hitting the zone.
And Hunter Jones shows bunt, pulls it back, strike 1 to the senior who has not bunted a whole lot because he has been driving them in. You see the numbers right there, 3, 14, 11 brought across. He has been one of the best for the crew year in and year out. Has a chance to deliver early. The 0-1 taken away in the turf. For Mary Hardin-Baylor, their coach saying the input simply does not match the output. They're working so hard. Their practices look great. He loves what they see. But then when they get on the field during games, the wins haven't been there. But that doesn't mean the talent isn't there for a team that was picked to finish third in the American Southwest Conference, had one of their best seasons in program history a year ago. So a very talented squad that has runners on first and second, nobody out, with their third hole hitter at the plate, Luke Pfeiffer, trying to get out of this early jam. The 1-2 on the way. Able to lay off there is Jones. Even count now.
It's a good pitch, just going to break late. Just a good take by Jones, as this count's going to even up here.
Betts at second to Berardini at first, and the runners are off. Strike three called. The throw to second. Not in time. A double steal by the Crew. Pfeiffer does get the strikeout, but both runners advance with just one away.
I was a little surprised when I saw that first runner go, because that means the other one's probably going as well. As they do pull off the double steal. It's a shorter throw for Pettit to go to third, so that's why you don't see it very often, but they're able to pull it off and put two in scoring position.
Now the hitter, Hayden Guerin, the cleanup hitter, trying to clean up some runners. And he takes strike one. Infield not showing that they're playing in, just the corners a tad bit closer. But they will gladly trade a run for an out. Pfeiffer, another breaking ball. This one's lifted to the right side, giving chase. And making the catch is Hunter Nevels. He is charging in and makes a great throw that gets away from the catcher. But Pfeiffer, look at him doing his job, backing it up. And no run comes across the score.
Yeah, great defense by Trinity here. Neville is able to run up. He knows he's got to throw it home, and he knows he has to do it fast. And it's going to get behind Pettit, but Luke Pfeiffer, understanding his responsibilities beyond throwing the baseball. And Trinity able to keep those runners right where they are.
And I say great throw, even though it got away from Pettit, because look at that laser right on target, maybe even too hard for the catcher. But like we said, Pfeiffer there. And now the first pitch to McCall nearly hits him. Maybe he thinks he did, but he's still in there, the senior from Seguin. Crew don't want to miss this opportunity, but Pfeiffer on the verge of getting out of it. Runners on first and second, nobody out, turned into second and third with one out. And now a strike to McCall. Pfeiffer coming into today, just 2 appearances, and none of them have been via the start. But the Tigers turning to him. And at 1-1, another fly ball to right field. Nevels going towards the bullpen, reaching over, and it'll be out of play.
Yeah,
We've seen some dangerous plays in the past with that fence, haven't we?
Absolutely. With Trey Verver against Concordia, Hunter Nevels took that about as far as he could. But that bullpen jets out more than it did in past years, as that would have definitely been an out last season.
Instead, McCall has to walk all the way back. It's a very chilly night in San Antonio, unexpected. March 28th, we would typically have sun and 75 degrees, but Mother Nature had other plans, as does Luke Pfeiffer here, trying to scramble these Crusaders. The check swing did not go around. Confirmed there by the second base umpire. McCall went 1 for 7 in 3 games against ETBU, as you see the ominous sky in San Antonio tonight. The 2-2 from Pfeiffer, swing and a miss, strike 3. Pfeiffer leaves 2 Crusaders in scoring position and gives the Tigers a chance to bat with a clean score. No runs for the Crew. Tigers coming up next. Welcome back to Tiger Network, bottom of the first. Strike one delivered to Cal Coney, the leadoff hitter for the Tigers, against Nicholas Finner, the starter for the University of Mary Hardin Baylor. Coach Cano going with the freshman at the top of the order. And he takes ball one in the dirt. Cal making just his 5th appearance of the year. Last played on March 21st against McMurray. But in the short time that he has gotten on the field, he has definitely impressed. And getting an opportunity there on the infield and at the top of the lineup. Breaking ball draws a foul ball from Coney, so Finner ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Cal Coney's first at-bat with Trinity, an RBI. Hoping to keep that up. Has been very productive in the limited amount of action he's seen.
And head coach Tim Scannell has been very complimentary about him, and not just in conversations with us, but conversations with the team, pointing him out as an example for the rest of the guys, as this one's fouled the other way. Using Cal as an example of someone who, with 2 strikes like he has right now, is willing to take it the other way. That's how he got that first hit and first RBI against Hardin Simmons. It was a 2-strike count. He lined it to right. And he just likes that approach. And on this Tuesday night game, giving him the chance. Awaits the 1-2 and swings past it. So strike 3 for Finner. As UMHB starter, the sophomore from Canton, Texas, now faces Hunter Nevels, the 2-hole.
Coach Scannell very complimentary of Hunter Nevels. Had at least 4 hits last weekend against TLU, including a home run in his first at-bat of the weekend.
First pitch swinging is Nevels, lines it to right field, and it's down for a fair ball and into the bullpen for a ground rule double. So Hunter Nevels, we saw him in the top half of the inning. He knows how that fence works, and he pops it over there for a 2-bagger.
Yeah, we saw Christian Holloway a few weekends ago have a few on that foul line not go his way, but Hunter Nevels able to get this on the right side and able to skip into the bullpen for the easy 2 bases.
Early opportunity for Tyler Pettit, who, boy, oh boy, did he have a weekend in Seguin. While the team struggled a little bit, losing 2 out of 3 to Texas Lutheran, Tyler Pettit showed that his bat is back. The first pitch to Pettit, a breaking ball, misses high for ball 1. How about 7 for 12 with 4 runs batted in, 3 doubles? After just 1 extra base hit in his previous 6 games, exploding for that power bat that we've become accustomed to. Finner checking on Nevels there for a while, now guns it to Pettit, puts a big swing but foul.
See Tyler Pettit slowly returning to what we know he can be. The all-everything catcher. And this team just finding its offensive identity. A returning player like that can be huge. Trying to find runs to go on the scoreboard.
1-1 to Pettit. Waits on the breaking ball this time, but just a weak ground ball to short taken care of. And that is more that can be said for what happened this past weekend for Mary Hardin Baylor. Keep an eye on that defense because they really struggled with those errors. So even those routine plays are so key. They had 9 errors against the Tigers of East Texas Baptist. But that time, Rhett Groves making sure that's an out. And Ezra Gore now, the cleanup hitter, has that runner on second, but 2 away for the pitcher Finner. Continues to check on Nevels and goes with the breaking ball again. It worked on Pettit, trying to work it against Gore.
Ezra Gore, you'll notice, has a bright orange back. Has the glow stick, is transferred. So this is the 3rd player to use the glow stick for Trinity. We were wondering about the powers of the glow stick. First at bat with it against TLU was a stand-up triple for Ezra Gore.
Takes one close here, up and away. Umpire says it's ball 1. You could see there on your screen, Rodriguez, the catcher, continuing to have a conversation with the umpire. Those are a couple that have gone against the crew. Third baseman playing in on Gore, even with 2 outs. Gore punches it the other way. It's going to go right into the glove of the right fielder, Tyler Betts. So both teams strand runners in scoring position. Tigers leave Nevels at second, and we head to the top of the second, 0-0 in San Antonio. Luke Pfeiffer walked a man, gave up a hit, but that was it, as he was able to strand 2 runners in scoring position and now starts off with a breaking ball to Rhett Groves. Luke Pfeiffer, someone who we've already talked about, showing so much energy on the mound, always treating it like a big spot. Here, a little fister over short. Montreza, make it Baker there, not going to get to it. So Mary Hardin Baylor for the 2nd consecutive inning, a base hit to get things going.
This one elevated. Just going to take it the other way and finds that hole. Shallow outfield, just beyond the infielders, beyond where Jack Baker can get it. And another good start for Mary Hardin Baylor. They'll try and bring some people in this time.
It's up to the freshman catcher, Elijah Rodriguez. Ball 1 in the turf. Just the 5th appearance for Rodriguez. Robert McCall, who we've already seen in the lineup, also a catcher, but today serving as a designated hitter. Swings over the top of that one. Getting a big lead at first is Groves, so Pfeiffer, I'm going to keep an eye on that as well. Just the 2nd inning here in San Antonio. Game that got started a little bit later than we're used to, as there is Pfeiffer checking on Groves. We've become used to the 6 p.m. starts, but 7 p.m. today. Softball's playing a doubleheader over there at their diamond. Tennis also in action on campus, so as always, a ton of spring activity at Trinity University as that breaking ball misses away. 2 balls, 1 strike on Rodriguez. Another one low. Pettit able to block it, and Rodriguez says, stay right there to Groves. But the catcher now in control. 3 balls, 1 strike. Went 2 for 2 on Saturday. Also got his first career RBI, looking to keep that momentum going. Pfeiffer, gets the corner. I thought Rodriguez thought that was outside, but the umpire had other thoughts.
Yeah, started walking over. It looked like that was a borderline pitch. I thought that could have been called a strike, but Rodriguez obviously had other ideas, or he was just selling it.
Now the breaking ball right to Coney, covering the bag on the first for a double play. Tigers take advantage of that call and turn it into 2 outs. As Coney and Baker high-five after that one. Couldn't have drawn it up any better if you're the Tigers.
Yeah, 2 for 1 special. Right to the second baseman. Coney very aware, able to just step on the bag and flip that over the first. Get 2 at once. And that's Pfeiffer allowing 2 leadoff hits. A good way to just erase that right away.
Just like that, Blake Harmon has no Crusaders on base for him. 2 outs in the second. The junior from Highland Village takes strike 1 off the breaking ball. Pfeiffer saying, if you're going to give me that corner, might as well go back to it. And that is 3 curveballs that hit the outside part, and all 3 of them have been strikes.
Yeah, some warping pitches. Pfeiffer just taking what he's given. Doing a very good job as Pettit will set up on that side again.
Yeah, why not? Harmon has to chase because it's been called, and it's strike 3. Luke Pfeiffer manipulating his way to a clean 2nd inning. It started with a base hit, but it turns into 1, 2, 3. So here come the Tigers, still 0-0 in the second. Well, it's 0-0 in San Antonio, but you can't say we haven't had any action each half inning. I've seen something interesting going on, and it leaves us at 0-0 with the Tigers coming to bat for the second time. Jack Baker and his beloved glow stick leading off this frame. The first pitch from Finner, a strike. Finner showing a little bit of what his head coach has seen historically from him just this past weekend against East Texas Baptist. If you look at the two different outings that he's had, he misses outside with ball one. So on Friday night, he goes an inning and 2/3, gives up just 1 run, strikes out 2. Coach Stosky saying sitting at 93, looking very confident, like the talent that he's shown he has, was an honorable mention in the conference last year. Then the very next day, he gives up 3 hits, 4 runs, a walk, and didn't record a single out against ETBU. And it's just been a tale of 2 seasons for Finner, looking to use a couple of innings here against the Tigers to get it going in the right way. And he starts this inning in the right way for him, an out recorded off the bat of Baker.
Well, his defense playing behind him there, that was a huge issue for them last weekend. 15 unearned runs against ETBU out of the 38 total that they gave up. And I'm thinking the turf might help a little bit with that today.
Well, you would think, but they were on turf in Marshall. And that's what Coach Stosky just can't believe. He said, if you can figure out why we were making those errors, I'd hire you, because he has no explanation for it. And the only thing he could tell me is we've practiced it over and over and over now. We have drilled in infield defense, trying to improve that. And he's hoping that viewers at home will see that on Tiger Network today. And so far, they've been routine plays. But again, those routine plays weren't being completed, and so far they have.
Yeah, 3 for 3 today. And always an important 3 for 3. As you do not want to give any team extra base runners and extra opportunities to beat you.
Finner here facing Lazera, gets another weak grounder. The first baseman takes care of it. And this infield stepping up. 2 outs in the second.
Yeah, good job by McCall there. Just jumping on that. Waving off the pitcher, always important to use those communication skills. As they record the second out of the inning. Much better start here in the second.
And now we have what we've all been waiting for. You can't say head coach Tim Scannell doesn't have a sentimental spot in his heart for Tanner Haney, facing his father, Todd Haney. The assistant coach for UMHB is Tanner's dad. So a little Tiger versus crew action, and also father against son. And here is the son Tanner after taking strike 1. Looking at ball 1 high. This is not the first time we've seen father against son Haney edition. Last year, twice. Once in Belton, once in San Antonio. Tanner going 3 for 9 at the plate as he takes a breaking ball for ball 2 inside. And Finner and Rodriguez look stunned after the calls that they've seen go against them on the other side. It takes it to 2 balls, 1 strike on Haney. Another close one. This one goes to the crew. Evens up the count. Haney shaving his mustache that he was sporting for a couple of weeks. Wanting to look fresh for his dad, maybe. Now awaiting the 2-2. Rodriguez setting up inside. Missing inside does Finner. And it's a full count.
Well, you see they're trying to work the outside part of the plate. They got the scouting report on that last inning, knowing that they had a few calls against them over there, so they're going to try and do the same thing.
3-2 gets well away from Finner as he takes a tumble off the mound. Hope he's okay. Still looking down at his leg and hobbling a little bit past the mound as Haney takes the base with the ball 4. And now looking at the knee is Finner. Never want to see that.
Yeah, tried to walk it off a little bit, but now just feeling his knee, and that is never something that you want to see.
We'll get a look at the replay. Maybe getting his cleat caught on this turf. You see both feet leaving the ground. We do know from talking to the pitchers all year long that's been a concern with this new turf. Couldn't quite tell if that was the specific issue, but Finner definitely felt something there.
It is something they said was going to be an adjustment, that you're going to feel more of a plant, that your foot's going to basically get stuck more in the surface and not have as much give. And I've got to wonder if that's what caused whatever happened here.
Training staff taking a look at Finner, the sophomore from Canton. We'll take a quick break as they continue to attend to him, hoping everything is great for Finner.
First baseman number 44, Carson Hastings.
Well, that is certainly a welcome sight to see Finner stay out there after that tumble, not looking too serious. He stays on the mound to face Carson Hastings with 2 away. Haney over there at first after the walk. And Carson Hastings, very similar to Tyler Pettit, getting his bat going in Seguin. First pitch to him misses low and inside for ball 1. After starting the year 2 for 19, which is good enough for a 105 average, Carson now 5 for 11 in his last 6 games. That's a 454 batting average. And the first baseman continues to get playing time thanks to that hot bat and his tremendous defense as well. Takes the 1-0 outside. And after Finner took that fall, hasn't found the strike zone. Wanted to keep an eye on that. Rodriguez telling his pitcher, calm down. Take a breath. You see him there continuing to motion with his arms. The 2-0 on the way. Big swing, but a big foul straight into the net.
Yeah, important to get that foul ball. Don't want to go behind 3-0, especially with first base already taken. Only need 1 more out to get out of this. And maybe get a rest in case that leg's bothering him.
Haney taking a healthy lead off of first, not going anywhere. But Rodriguez perhaps expecting Haney to take off. Almost seemed like a pitch out there. But you don't expect that with a 2-1 count. So that one just getting away from Finner, who's now in some trouble. Haney over there at first. Hastings the batter. 3-1 the count. Continuing to tiptoe over there. Haney now the pitch. Strike 2 up and away. And clear communication coming from the catcher. A nod of approval after that strike. Now can Finner get out of this one? Excellent view at Haney, who'll be off with the pitch. There he goes. Little ground ball to second. Instead, it's McCall. The first baseman takes it and will toss it to the pitcher. So Cole, this infield defense for UMHB, we know we've already highlighted it so much, but I mean, those are staggering numbers, right? 15 unearned runs on 9 errors in just 3 games. And through 2 innings, they're taking care of business.
Yeah, it's really tough to win when your defense doesn't play behind you that well. And today they've been sturdy. They haven't had to make too many incredible plays. They've all been pretty routine, but they've been making them, and that's the important thing. And that's a big reason why the scoreboard's at 0.
Scoreboard's at 0. We're headed to the top of the 3rd, and we'll stick here with you on Tiger Network as Luke Pfeiffer takes the mound again. And just being on the mound is something he is tremendously happy with, especially after the fall scare that he had. So Luke was talking to me before this started, and he said it is okay to share because he says it's part of his story. He has overcome this, and that is some heart inflammation and some heart issues that he had in the fall that forced him away from the field for almost the entirety of that semester. He said it would tire him to walk, had to go to the clinic and the hospital eventually to figure it out what was going on. Woke up one day and he thought it was spicy food that he ate the night before that was giving him some heart pain, and it ended up being something well more serious than that. Had to really keep an eye on it, monitor it in many different ways, and is just now building the strength back up to be at his full self. And he does believe he is his full self, Coach Dave Smith believes he's at his full self, and it is so amazing to see Luke Pfeiffer back on the mound after that fall he had.
Yeah, it's such an incredible thing to overcome. Heart problems, obviously no joke, and Luke Pfeiffer able to find himself back on the mound and looking pretty good through 2 innings of work.
Getting starts last year against UT Dallas and Birmingham Southern in playoff baseball as a freshman shows the confidence and the expectations that the Tigers have grown to have on Pfeiffer. Delivers a first pitch strike here to start the third. He's only made 2 appearances this year as he does get that strength back, but now getting a start on this Tuesday night against the Crew. Looking good so far. That one misses in the turf to Hagen. .33 pitches so far for the sophomore. Looking to go inside, Pettit. Serving up the target, and it's hit right there, but a little too much inside. 2 balls, 1 strike for Pfeiffer on the 9-hole hitter, so not someone you want to lose as you turn the lineup over. And Pfeiffer goes back to that breaking ball that he's gotten on the outside part, strike 2.
Yep, able to locate that outside part once again and even this count on a pitch that was probably outside, but if they're going to give it to you, might as well take it.
Goes with the fastball outside this time. Umpire says outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes as Pfeiffer continues to navigate this strike zone. Been able to steer a steady ship so far. What does he have on the 3-2? A breaking ball for strike 3. Beautiful pitch for Pfeiffer, and he rings up the 4th Crew hitter.
Able to go outside again. A great pitch by Luke Pfeiffer, and all important to get that first batter out. Hadn't been able to do it in the previous 2 innings, but they're able to get the strikeout. And 1 out with nobody on for the first time today.
Top of the lineup now in the form of Betts, the right fielder. Bunting for a hit, and it bounces behind Pettit. Appears that he didn't get a tip of the ball, though, because they're saying foul ball. As it bounced back behind home, it could have easily nicked the fingertips of Pettit, so a break there for the Tigers, because Betts could have easily been on first now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought happened. I thought that the Pettit might have touched that baseball, which would make it fair, but umpire saying that it went under his hand, therefore no damage done for Trinity.
And that has been one of the most awkward parts of this turf, just from a personal opinion. What I've seen is those bounces near home, how the ball is just going straight back on these bunts especially. Don't know how the catchers are going about adjusting quite yet, but that was just a ball that on dirt or on a grass field would just bounce forward likely. Instead, it keeps Betts here at the plate, and he's behind 0-2. They would have fouled it the other way, though, to stay alive.
You got to think, especially with Tyler Pettit missing the first few weeks of the season, any adjustment period with this turf that he needs to go through might still be going through it, but obviously not impacting his bat. And has been a very welcome sight defensively for Trinity.
Pfeiffer tried to go high. Betts met him right there, though. Coney makes an excellent stop, but Betts way too fast. Infield single for 51.
Gets the infield single, but great range by Coney, able to get back and stop that baseball. I don't even know how he got back there, whether he was shifted over already, but good backup. Not in time, though, as a good 90 for UMHB gets their first base runner of the inning.
Pfeiffer taking his time, delivering to DeBerardini, and he flips it the other way, right into the Tiger bullpen. Was that a catch made? No. A disappointed look by Michael Bokey as he drops it there at the end.
That's why he pitches, Brian. Not playing outfield anytime soon.
I'm sure they'll let him hear it there in the Tiger bullpen. For Pfeiffer, though, so used to being in that bullpen, dealing with the 0-1 now on the center fielder. That one outside for ball 1. DeBerardini, described by his head coach as a bulldog, someone who is at the center of it all. Said if there happens to be a fight on the field, he would be at the center of it. Of course, we never hope that. I know we saw that with Dallas and Centenary, but nothing of the sorts here. Just using that to describe how much he cares about what he does. And he pops out here to third base, but for so long, DeBerardini has been not only at the heart of what he wants to do, but at the heart of UMHB's action.
Yeah, Bulldog in sports, pretty good thing to be described as. As somebody who has 3 Bulldogs at home, I can tell you that Bulldog's not really tenacious. You told the TLU mascot story. That's not true about Bulldogs, but in a sports context, being described as a Bulldog, very good thing, and it shows that he cares a lot. And like you said, Brian, we do not want to see any fights here today, though we do have Centenary coming in on Friday.
Maybe your Bulldogs aren't tenacious, but those TLU Bulldogs were quite tenacious. Just ask the Tigers, who lost 2 out of 3 to them in Seguin. It was that Friday night loss and a Saturday afternoon loss. Really had the team feeling a bit down. And it was a conversation from head coach Tim Scannell saying, look, we can't lose too many more conference games. There's a lot of parity in the conference. Teams at the bottom are winning some games, and we could be left out of the conference tournament if we're not careful, as Betts takes second here. Throw bounces from Pettit into Coney. And now a runner in scoring position for the Crew with 2 away. But Coach Scannell saying to his team, don't let this get away from you. We really have to win tomorrow. Tomorrow being Sunday at the time of this speech. And what did they do after their head coach's speech? Oh, just a 14-5 victory over that same Texas Lutheran team. So whatever he was telling them registered. Now they're looking to keep that momentum going against UMHB.
Yeah, 14 runs, first time in a game where they did not play Austin College, where they got past 10. So a very important game for Trinity's offense to break out like that, especially after that game was kind of close early. TLU scoring 5 runs in the first half of the game.
And speaking of close, those calls continue to go the way of Luke Pfeiffer. When you are painting with the breaking ball like he is, why not give it to him? 5 strikeouts now for Pfeiffer. Jones can't punch in that runner, and the Crew will be punching themselves because they have left so many runners on base. Ominous sky continues to cover San Antonio, but nothing but sunshine ahead because there's more baseball ahead after this break on Tiger Network.
Bottom of the 3rd inning for the Tigers, batting ninth, center fielder number 24, Jack Peterson.
We remain scoreless in the Alamo City. Jack Peterson, the leadoff hitter for Trinity. Swings at the first pitch, ground ball to second. Easy throw on to first for Harmon. 1 pitch, 1 out for the new pitcher, Bryce Farlander, the freshman from Plano, Texas. When you're coming out of the bullpen and you ask for what you want, well, 1 pitch, 1 out. That's what he receives.
Yeah, on pace to be out here in 2 more pitches, but the important thing is that his defense playing behind him, continuing to do so. Nearly 7 for 7. on ground balls today, as they had a tough weekend against ETBU.
That one misses high to Calcone. Top of the lineup, back up for Trinity. You would typically say the second time through the order in the third inning in a 0-0 game, but Coach Stosky telling me he was planning to use several guys today for short little bursts of energy. Coming off that weekend against ETBU, saying that what they want today and what they want in Tuesday games typically is a fresh look at guys that they really do want to contribute on their team in weekend matchups against those typical conference foes and the conference foes that you really need to beat to get your season going. So Farlander, one of those, gets a quick out on Peterson, but falls behind Coney. 3 balls, no strikes in the bottom of the third. Takes a deep breath now, readies, and misses up high. Coney tosses the bat and will take his base.
Yep, the patience of Calcone, able to take those pitches and work a walk. Only the third base runner for Trinity all game.
And now you're going to get another look at Hunter Nevels, who, how can you try to describe the sound off the bat that the balls get when he swings? It is just something to behold every batting practice, and lately every game. That trip to Seguin, a great one for him as well. We've already described Pettit and Hastings loving the trip east. Well, Hunter Nevels, 6 for 14 with a home run, his first of his collegiate career. And it was something that Coach Scannell was particularly excited to see as Coney takes a massive lead off of first, not going anywhere. Instead, a ground ball past the diving shortstop for a base hit. Hunter Nevels against a righty, like Coach Scannell put him in against TLU, despite the righty-righty matchup, really wanted him in there, and it just continues to pay off.
Yep. Coach Scannell singing the praises of Hunter Nevels after last weekend, continuing to produce. 2 for 2 today, as this one barely squeaks past the shortstop. As Trinity first and second.
Coach Scannell saying there's just something about Hunter, he's unafraid to fail. He doesn't worry about what already happened, just focused on the present and the future. And it leads to start after start for the senior. And now runners on first and second, one away for Tyler Pettit in the third. Line drive opposite way, as Coney looked to be off there with the pitch, along with Nevels, a little bit of a delayed steal action there. Crew defense just now realizing what was going on. You see Farlander having to be told to wait for the runners to get back, trying to catch the crew napping. Now they'll be aware of it. For the 0-1 to Pettit, still has his average over 400. Coney bouncing around. Now Farlander goes home, and the breaking ball misses low.
A big moment in this game for UMHB, as both these teams have been able to hold off runners in scoring position, but Tyler Pettit, one of the best bats in the Tiger lineup. Opportunity to put the first runs on the board. There's only 1 out.
Here comes the 1-1 to Pettit. Little dribbler foul. Pettit mentioning that good weekend he had, but specifying the sigh of relief that was let out when he had that double, because he's had hits here and there since returning from what we're going to call the injured list, even though there's no official injured list here. But getting hits here and there, but finally getting that extra base hit and that extra base power that he showcased all of last season. 11 home runs, hasn't had a homer yet, but those doubles starting to fall as the pickoff to second, not in time.
Well, Pettit nearly had a home run at the end of game 1 at TLU. We were there just visiting as fans. So we were about to leave, and the top of the 9th, game was pretty much out of hand. And you said, oh, wouldn't it be nice if Tyler Pettit just hit a bomb here? Hits one straight out to center field, hits the wall. Easy 2 bases. But a very loud hit from Tyler Pettit in that game.
Yeah, and he had 3 doubles as time called here by the field umpire. And the dugout loving it right along with them when he got to second on one of those doubles, just putting his hands up saying, finally, they're starting to fall, and they really are for Tyler. Looking to make the crew pay. Farlander putting a couple of men on with 1 away. Still a 1-2 count on the catcher. continues to fight those pitches off. Rodriguez gives a shake-off saying, not where we wanted it. He has stood up, not even bending his knees at all these last couple of pitches. He wants it up, but Farlander has not gotten it there. Danger zone certainly against the power-hitting backstop. We'll do the 1-2 once more. Coney at second, Neville's at first, just one away. This time it is high, but Pettit spits on it, and it's an even count. The home plate umpire there showing full count. Have to wonder if that little time called by the umpire was actually marking a ball on a time clock violation, because we were keeping close track of this count, and they added a ball out of nowhere, and Pettit takes full advantage of it.
Yeah, the patience of Tyler Pettit handed a ball, it looks like, because as you said, the time clock violation, not something we've seen too often, but right there, it looks like it just gave Tyler Pettit first base. As that is a big walk, as it'll load the bases with only one out.
Yeah, next year ballparks will be required to have that clock out visible for people, but this year it's just the umpires keeping it on their stopwatch. So it results in a walk. Bases now loaded for Gore, who takes ball one outside.
This is the teeth of this Tiger lineup. Pettit, then Gore, two of the major returners from last season. Key situation for Ezra Gore here. Bases loaded, only one out.
1-0 to Gore. Swing and a miss on one high. Rodriguez continues to stand up there, wants it up in the zone. And Farlander there blowing it past number 4.
That's a good pitch. Makes Gore short in the swing. Not a whole lot he can do with that, even if he touches it.
Rodriguez this time stepping outside, and there he goes standing up, threatening to throw back on the runner. But Coney not going anywhere. 2-1 the count to Gore. Glow stick in hand, trying to break it open for the Tigers. Still 0-0 in the bottom of the third. They've had their chances, haven't cashed in. Here's the 2-1 to Gore. Gets around on it, but pops it up, and he is frustrated. Charging in is the right fielder. Betts looking to make a strong throw home, and he does. There's some confusion on the base pass, and here's the throw to second. Out is the call. Neville's got caught between second and third as Coney did not tag up along with him, and that allowed Rodriguez to throw behind him, and just like that, the Crew get out of the jam.
When we talk about the defense of the Crusaders, letting them down last weekend has been a huge part of their game in this game. Is able to have the awareness to throw back to second as Neville's gets caught in between. And a huge out for UMHB.
You might have been able to see it briefly there. Neville's also taking a trip between the baseline that just didn't allow him to get back in time. So Mary Hardin-Baylor, Trinity, we always expect close games, and we have one so far. 0-0 headed to the fourth.
Top of the fourth inning, for the Crusaders, batting fourth, designated hitter number 17, Hayden Jones.
It only keeps getting darker in San Antonio, but we play on. No rain that has really threatened us, just a few sprinkles here and there. And for the Crew, a bright way to end last inning. Pfeiffer loops in a breaking ball for strike one. But these teams almost doing everything they can not to score with some of the miscues we've seen offensively, and it leaves us at this 0-0 ball game. Little chopper to third, gets past the dive. Now the shortstop, Baker, makes the throw, but not quite in time. A stunning effort by Baker, but not enough to get the hustling runner down the line.
That's an amazing play by Jack Baker, able to get over and back up. Tanner Haney nearly makes the throw on the run, almost a fadeaway from Jack Baker, but just not in time.
Haney and Baker at third and short. Not a combo we've seen a ton together. They've each had their separate playing time. But Coach Scannell going with a new duo there. It results in an infield hit for UMHB. Now Robert McCall gets the opportunity. Put in some numbers to the opportunities these teams have had. UMHB leaving 3 on base, but it seems like way more. Especially with how they've set them up, especially in that first inning. First 2 got on. They moved them over with the stolen base. They couldn't cash in. Tigers just recently leaving the bases loaded. So both teams going to be wishing they had more offensively. And it's kind of been the story for both of these sides. As Guerin takes off with the pitch, but he'll have to head back after that foul ball.
And both of these squads just trying to find offense. And they've had people on. Both of these teams working people on the base pads, getting runners in scoring position, but just not able to bring anyone in yet. And that's why we're 0-0 here in the top of the 4th.
When you take a look at the scoring and ranking them in D3, these teams are almost identical. As this little looper goes out to center, no problem for Jack Peterson. First out of the inning in the 4th. UMHB averaging 5.6 runs per game. Tigers averaging 5.9 runs per game. And both of those ranked towards the bottom of their respective conferences and towards the bottom of Division III baseball.
It's almost surprising looking at these two teams' records based on that number. But I guess that can be the difference sometimes, a bounce here and a bounce there. And that's why you have one team coming in at 4-12 and another coming in at 13-8.
Well, the real difference there when you have almost identical offenses is taking a look at the pitching staff, and that is where the Tigers have shined. And Pfeiffer showing an example of that, gets a big swing on the breaking ball for strike 1. UMHB a 6.65 ERA, third worst in the ASC. Meanwhile, the Tigers, well, a sparkling clean 3.62. Not only second best in the conference, 29th best in Division III. There are not many better pitching staffs than these Tigers right now.
And that is a sentence that Dave Smith has been waiting to see, especially after last season. The way that happened with them giving up over 6 runs a game. Pitching staff able to rebound like this and be a large reason why, despite the offense still trying to figure things out, Trinity's been able to win some ball games.
UMHB trying to flip the script, though, on offense. Another base hit in the left. Runner Guerin stays at second, not trying to test the arm of Gore. And the Crew have runners on first and second, one away in the top of the 4th.
They have runners on first and second. He's just going to go opposite field with this one and find a gap. But now what can you do with it? Neither of these offenses have been able to cash in on their opportunities. Somebody's going to have to eventually.
Elijah Rodriguez will look to be that Crew member. But will he face a new pitcher? We'll find out as Pfeiffer does receive a visit. This time it is Dave Smith, and this time it is a change. So Luke Pfeiffer strikes out 5 Crusader hitters, gives up just 1 walk, but the 5 hits, 2 of which have come here, leave him with those 2 runners responsible. Although, look at the smile on his face, he looks pretty happy. And like he said, just happy to be here, happy to be back on the mound, and happy to give his team a chance. Now, a quick break on Tiger Network as we meet the new Trinity pitcher.
Now pitching for the Tigers, number 39, the senior from San Antonio, Michael Boku.
Michael Boki has seen this film before, and he liked the ending that he had on Sunday, so looking for exactly the same here on Tuesday. When he came in against Texas Lutheran, the tying run was at the plate in the 5th inning, but he struck out the Bulldog hitter, got out of it, and picked up the win on Sunday afternoon. A little bit of a different situation, but still stressful for him. Runners on first and second, and the first pitch to Rodriguez, a ball. Boki becoming a go-to out of this Tiger bullpen, and after Pfeiffer exited, Rodriguez faces the tall right-hander from San Antonio. The 1-0 from Boki, another breaking ball that misses outside. 2-0 the count.
We know that Michael Boki loves that breaking ball, and he can put it at so many different angles and use it in so many different ways. And we'll see how he uses it to get out of this jam.
Rodriguez buckled by that curveball, who, if you joined us on Tiger Network just about a week and a half ago, you might have heard Jackson Tier describe it as the best breaking ball he has ever seen. Fellow San Antonian there giving Boki plenty of compliments. And Boki goes to that breaking ball, and that swing shows you all you need to know. Nowhere near it was Rodriguez. However, the Crew move up to second and third as Groves was off with the pitch. He stands at second behind Guerin, who was off to third. Now a little base hit for Rodriguez would score 2 all at once. Boki has to be careful here with the catcher. Goes to the breaking ball. Not fooled this time, though. Gets a good swing and sends it foul.
Well, going back to the double steal that was pulled off there, that can be the opportunity that you have when you have a pitcher that throws almost exclusively breaking balls, is it's going to take longer to get to the catcher, which means you have that extra second to take the base. And UMHB took full advantage of it there.
Umpires given Pfeiffer that call earlier in the game, but Boki not as beneficial that time. So 3-2 now the count to Rodriguez, who was the victim of that close breaking ball call a couple of times. He wasn't pleased, and maybe his talking has done some work. Now a full count to the catcher, breaking ball the other way. And if there's one thing we've seen after that swing that was nowhere near the pitch, he has definitely adjusted as Boki's left a couple in the zone.
Yeah,
so 3-2 for Rodriguez.
Starting to lay off that pitch a little bit, but it's so effective and it looks so good to a hitter. We'll see if he goes back to it with the full count.
Corners playing in, but the middle infield's back. And it's headed to the middle of the infield. No one there to catch it. Rodriguez cashes in 2 runs as the throw is cut off. He'll take second as well, and the Crew strike first in the 4th.
Yep, going right up the middle, splitting the defense and bringing in the first 2 runs of this game. Good piece of hitting, good patience, adjusting to that breaking ball that was getting him earlier in the at-bat, and able to give UMHB their first lead of the game.
Some true joy coming out of the UMHB dugout, who has not had a lot of it with this 4-12 start, but they have battled tonight. And the epitome of their battling is really that at-bat we just saw from Rodriguez. Tough pitch after tough pitch that he kept fouling away, not letting Boki get away with it, even after looking foolish on the first breaking ball, able to recover and then send 2 runners across the plate for a UMHB lead, forcing a Dave Smith visit right away after Boki came into this game.
And that's what you have to do sometimes. You have to hang in there, wait for a pitch that you can hit, and then take advantage of your opportunities. And opportunities, they've been squandered in this game. That's why it was 0-0 to this point. UMHB finally able to pounce on one.
And head coach Mike Stosky for UMHB reiterating that to me over and over today in our conversation, saying the mental part has been the hardest with this 4-12 start, trying to tell the guys, you were there last year. You had a remarkable run. 25-19 was the record, 16-14 in conference play, and they went to places UMHB has not been before. This is a UMHB program that has never won their conference, as we see Boki exiting here, but we'll stick around with you to talk about this program. They have never won the American Southwest Conference. Hard to believe. And not only have they never won, they've never made the championship series. They were a couple of outs away from doing that last year. They were up 1 against ETBU in the 9th inning. They blew that lead, then lost in extra innings. But still, it did not change the fact that that was the third most wins UMHB's had in the Division III era. Coach Stosky thinks they really are knocking on the door. It hasn't been the response he's wanted early this year, but like he said, the input hasn't matched the output, but the output currently matching that hard work.
Yep, able to go up 2-0 in this game as several ASC schools building their programs up, trying to win that conference championship. We saw Dallas, UT Dallas there several years ago. Now they've won 3 of 4. We talked to Hardin Simmons earlier in this season. They had made the final a few times, but still they've never won it either. So a lot of these programs really close, trying to achieve something that they never have. And it may not be this year for UMHB, but we'll see if they can get there soon.
And they're showing the potential that they do have, returning 7 of 9 starters to this team, picked to finish 3rd in the conference. And despite the rough start, still plenty of baseball to play. And still plenty of baseball to play in this one, just the top of the 4th. And the Tigers will go to their 3rd pitcher of the evening in the form of Jack Breezy. We've seen him before, and very similar to Luke Pfeiffer, who was very happy to be on the mound. Can't picture anyone happier to be on the mound this year than Jack Breezy, back from Tommy John surgery. And now it's like we've gotten used to him, just same old seeing him on the mound, but he really has worked so hard to be here. And comes into the game with a runner on second, 1 away in the 4th. Crusaders already up 2. First pitch swinging is Harmon. Little dribbler foul, strike 1. Breezy, the sophomore from Danville, Kentucky. Looking to put away the Crusaders, bottom of the lineup up. Goes away, but it's also high, so it's ball 1. Breezy pitching in Seguin on Friday night, not quite as recently as Boki. Went 2 2/3, gave up 2 hits and 2 walks, but no runs. Misses away, Pettit has to get in front of it. 2-1 count on 22, Blake Harmon. Off-speed delivery, fouled behind Harmon, who continues to mimic his swing there after the foul ball, trying to keep his bat out in front. Will look to do so on the 2-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way from Breezy. Rodriguez, the clutch 2-run single, turning into a double after he took second on a throw. But he's not going anywhere as Breezy blows the fastball past Harmon for strike 3.
Jack Breezy able to battle back in that at-bat. Falling down 2-0. Able to get the strikeout. Just hanging in there. Throwing the pitches he wants to throw and eventually winning the at-bat.
Now it's up to Carson Hagan to keep the chain moving for the Crew. Takes the first pitch from Breezy, foul down the line. Not only is Breezy similar to Pfeiffer in the fact that they've returned from some sort of injury, also similar in that this is their 3rd appearance. Described that one in Seguin. Also got some action against UT Dallas, that ASC foe from Richardson. Trying to show that 3rd time is the charm and gets a call there. Strike up and away.
Yeah, Jack Breezy will say thank you to the ump for that one.
He'll certainly take what he can get. Ahead 0-2 on Hagan. Tries to go down and in. Hagan not going to chase. Rodriguez hobbles back to second. 2 away in the top of the 4th. UMHB taking the lead, and Hagan trying to extend it. Fans bundled up behind home. It's a cold one. Breezy will try to jam Hagan on the hands and make him really feel that cold weather. But the umpire says a little too much there on that one. So Hagan stays in the batter's box. Trying to turn the lineup over, and in the process, getting the runner over or getting him in. Baker scoots in behind Rodriguez, but Breezy didn't see him. Now fires home and gets the changeup for a swing and a miss. The diving action of that pitch well off the zone, but it gets Hagan swinging. UMHB, though, 2 runs in the top of the 4th. Tigers having to work on offense after this break.
pitching for the Crusaders is number 36, Eric Roberts. Following the fourth inning, Golden Tigers having 6, shortstop number 7, Jack Baker.
Eric Roberts, come on down. We continue to play the prices right on this Tuesday night. Plenty of pitchers in just the bottom of the fourth. The third now for UMHB, and the freshman following up the freshman facing the junior Jack Baker. UMHB up 2 in this bottom of the fourth. Can this new pitcher shut it down for the Crew? We'll find out as the first pitch misses low for Roberts, the freshman from Allen, Texas. Went an inning, gave up just 1 run. No hits, but it was the walks that really did him in on Friday against ETBU. Making his 4th career appearance against the Tigers, and that was a beautiful pitch against Baker. And right away, a visit from the catcher, Rodriguez. Not totally sure what this is about, because that was as perfect of a changeup as you can throw.
Yep, really well executed. Very quick visit, though, as the battery will set up in its normal spot.
Very strange there. It was immediate after the swing and a miss, so wish we could be there to hear it. And now the umpire writing something down, so maybe something to do with the clock. Doing our best to communicate what's going on. We aren't right there on top of it, though, so bear with us. Baker takes one high for a strike. Should make it 1-2 if everything is as we know. And it is. Just making sure. And Roberts getting the signs from Rodriguez behind the plate. He takes a step towards Baker, who's able to fight it off to stay in the box.
Very smooth delivery from Roberts. Not really taking a large step or windup, just kind of stepping and throwing.
And he is ready to roll. Has to wait for first Baker, now the signs, but he was on the rubber that entire time. Misses up and away with that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes to lead off the bottom of the fourth. Tigers had bases loaded. That turned into a double play, a sac fly seemingly could have been, but it turned into 2 outs. As Nevels was caught between second and third, Coney not heading home. And the Crew then able to take advantage on the other end of it, getting 2 runs and giving their pitching staff some momentum headed to this frame.
Well, that can be the difference in baseball games. You take advantage of your opportunities and the other team misses one, and then you're up 2-0 all of a sudden.
Roberts blows it by Baker. That's out number 1 in the fourth.
Blows it by him. Pretty impressive that he throws that fast. As I noted earlier, not really a strong it's a strong delivery, obviously, but it doesn't look like he's using his entire body to get the ball there. Much more of a kick and throw, but still able to put a lot of velocity on that pitch.
He stands at 5'9", just 150 pounds. Draws weak contact, but there is the first defensive miscue from UMHB. It was a tough play for McCall, who is listed as a catcher. But has seen playing time at first base. This one just took the wrong hop at the wrong time, and Lazera will say thank you very much.
What does Lazera do every time he hits the baseball, Brian?
Hits it hard somewhere.
Hits it very hard, and that has to do with why the error was made. Yes, an unfortunate hop that popped up right in front of him, but at the same time, that ball hit very hard. And that's something with this turf that we don't see very often, the defense making a mistake on a hard hit ball, just because the bounces can be predictable.
Haney helps the umpire there a little bit, saying that was high. Ball 1. Lazera at first with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. UMHB taking advantage of Trinity miscues. Can Trinity do the same here after that error? It has been called a fielding error on McCall. Trying to go away, instead ends up nearly hitting Haney, and Rodriguez has to step in front of the plate and tell his pitcher to take a breath.
That's the second time Haney has come close to a pitch. First at bat had a slider that did not slide up towards his face, and that one nearly catching his legs.
2-0 to Haney. Over the plate, but into the infield air. Having to wait on it is Groves, but there with plenty of time to retire Haney. Seen several of those skyscraper fly balls. This one seemed like it may never drop. But patiently waiting there was Groves, and now 2 away. Hastings having to take care of business with Lazera over at first, reaching on the air. Roberts, the third UMHB pitcher, looking to do what the first two did, keep the Tigers scoreless. Strike 1 to Hastings. It just so happens that ETBU also has a Tiger mascot, and they are faring much better against these maroon and white Tigers than they fared against those, let's call it blue and orange, a little bit of white Tigers in ETBU. UMHB outscored 38-10 in 3 games against East Texas Baptist. Now that is a great squad over there in Marshall. They were ranked to start the year, constantly receiving votes. But not the weekend UMHB was hoping to have, to say the least. 1-1, getting ready to be fired to Hastings. 0 for 1 on the day, just the second time through the order for the Tigers. And Hastings takes one up. Rodriguez has done more standing than he has crouching, really. So many of these asking for them high.
Yeah, wants a lot of these pitches high. Couldn't quite tell you why, but you know, that's where the catcher wants it. You might as well throw it there. Catcher, usually the smartest person on the field at any given time, has to be aware of about 10 different things at once.
Opposite direction with that one, misses low, and Hastings has a hitter's count. 3 balls, 1 strike. Interesting dynamic to follow with the battery right now. A freshman pitcher throwing to a freshman catcher. Roberts from Allen, Texas. Rodriguez from Bayton, Texas. Lazera, not a large lead. The 3-1 to Hastings is ball 4. Jack Peterson now will get the opportunity to drive home the first Tiger of the evening.
And Hastings able to hang in there, be patient, and take his base. And Trinity just needs to take base runners where they can, but most importantly, when they have them in scoring position, have to drive them in. Now working with a deficit of 2-0, even more important now.
Peterson grounded out to second base his first time up, swung at the first pitch, and the average dips below 300 because of that. But don't let that fool you. It has been a spectacular start to the year for Peterson, who takes strike 1 outside. Coach Scannell saying he is tremendously proud of Peterson because of the way he's been hitting, grinding out at bats, and not necessarily hitting the ball hard, but hitting it in the right place. And whether it's a flare to the opposite field or a bunt for a hit, doing what it takes to get on and then taking second or third with his stolen bases. Puts a good swing on this one, but falls behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
Jack Peterson, such a valuable player as Trinity continues to figure out how to create offense with this turf. He can bunt and then leads the team in steals as well. Just a great player to help manufacture runs, especially when you need to, when hard hit balls just aren't getting through the defense as often.
He'll try to manufacture something here. 0-2 breaking ball, loops outside the zone. Scannell going on to explain, no one says in baseball that a hit has to be hit hard. It just has to be a hit. And that's what sometimes people fail to understand. When you look at the box score, you won't see if it was hit 150 miles an hour or just 40. But if it's a hit, it's a hit. And that's what Peterson wants here. But he's not going to get it. Swings over the top of the changeup in the turf. And Roberts gets out of it. 2 more runners left on base by the Tigers. That is now 6. UMHB stays on top, 2-zip, headed to the 5th.
For the Crusaders. Top of the order, right fielder number 51, Tyler.
Top of the 5th in San Antonio, Mary Hardin Baylor 2, Trinity 0. Jack Breezy still on the mound after getting out of the last inning. We'll get a clean 5th to work with. Top of the lineup in Tyler Betts at the plate. Takes ball 1 that dribbles to the bricks. And we certainly hope we have a special viewer tuning in, Drew Breezy, the head coach of Center College in Kentucky, the father of Jack Breezy. He had a game today, and he's had a game the only time we saw Jack Breezy on the mound, as this one gets a piece of the umpire, knocks his mask off, and now Pettit will give him a chance to take a breather. You see him shaking everything off, saying he's okay. But Drew Breezy may be tuning in today because his Colonels in center winning 5-4 over Hanover. Maybe after high-fiving his team, congratulating them on a job well done, getting to see his son pitch.
Well, Mr. Breezy, if you were there, hello, and welcome to Tiger Network. Glad to have you on. As hope you're tuning in. Jack pitching well so far. Trying to hold this deficit.
Gets a breaking ball for a strike on Betts. 2 for 2 for the right fielder. And it just matches everything we have seen and heard about the freshman. Adjusts to the breaking ball, but fouls it off his own foot to even up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The freshman from Round Rock, Texas, wasn't in the starting lineup to start the campaign, but that has quickly changed for Coach Stosky and the crew, as now he is at the top of the order because of the production he has shown. Takes a close one there, nearly goes around, but he did not, and it's a full count. So not only 2 hits to start his evening, now working the count full, making Breezy throw several pitches, and he lines a looper into left, and that's 3 for 3 for Tyler Betts.
Yeah, great game for him, and a great game for the leadoff hitters for UMHB, as they've been able to collect base runners early. They've had a lot of opportunities because of it, and another one coming up in this inning.
Certainly seems like in every inning they've at least had someone on. De Berardini drops down the bunt. It's a beauty. Pettit has to work quickly and does, but the sacrifice gets the runner over. That's what they wanted, and it's what they got. Runner on second, one away in the 5th.
That's absolutely what you want to do in this situation. Already up 2-0. Find a way to get that third run in. Make it that much more difficult for Trinity to come back. And the best way to do that is to just get him into scoring position somehow.
And now Hunter Jones, the senior hitter. Honorable mention in the American Southwest Conference last year. Goes after the first pitch, grounds it to Haney. Makes the throw to Hastings. And then Hastings playing over there with the runner, making him go back in time.
And look
when
how
you have a powerful bat like that in the 3-hole, you'll certainly take a first pitch out.
Yeah, definitely. Good to get around that obstacle quickly. It's now 2 outs. Guy on second. Very different situation than with only 1 out.
Yes, he did, says the home plate umpire. Guerin couldn't hold up. Breezy at his best, works in a breezy manner. Likes to work quickly. Did it all preseason long, asked him about it, and says if I can keep the hitters guessing and on their toes, it means I'm doing my job. Speaking of on their toes, there is the runner going to third, and now he has to head back as Haney mishandles the dribbler. And runners will be at the corners. We promised you action, and you've gotten action. All sorts of plays today. This little ground ball from Guerin looked to be out number 3 if Haney could make a spectacular play instead. Betts had to be careful, a Machado-type play, as you might be well aware, Cole. But runner gets back in time, and now the Crew, again, an opportunity to drive one in.
Yeah, that would have been a Manny-like play. Run up and barehand it, throw on the run. Haney not quite able to secure it, as that would have been really difficult. Very impressive play had he been able to make it. But either way, runners at the corners for the Crusaders, and another opportunity that they'll hope to cash in on.
It was so weakly hit that Coach Scannell just had a conversation with the umpires, wondering if that hit the runner in foul territory, which would have brought everybody back. But the umpire saying, nope, that's a base hit. So runners at the corners, 2 away in the top of the 5th. Crew trying to grow their lead. McCall attacks the first delivery. It's a foul ball for the gloveless McCall. Looking to do anything to turn around the start to his year. 0 for 2 today, tipping that average to 250. Very different story from last year. The 0-1 sharply hit to Haney, but he has this one throw perfectly in the chest of Hastings, and that'll be that. So the Tigers, a couple of miscues, but they work around it thanks to Breezy. 2-0 remains the advantage for the Crusaders. Just like the lights have been turned on at Trinity's baseball field, the offense looking to flip that switch onward. And they'll hope to do that with Cal Coney, their leadoff hitter in the lineup, and their leadoff hitter in the 5th. Still facing Roberts, who fires in a first pitch strike. Coney 0 for 1, as you see there, but did draw a walk around that strikeout. Big looper, misses away, 1-1. Might be able to hear the wind picking up outside. The few fans we had right behind home have maybe found shelter. As Coney takes one for ball 2. It is brutally cold for March 28th, really unbelievable. And yet there goes someone behind home with shorts on. All power to you. As the 2-1 to Coney, fly towards right. Another play close to the bullpen, and he's going to say, I'm not testing it. Foul ball.
Well, you got to wonder how that wind's going to impact any fly balls. Could be a tougher play for anybody in the outfield now.
And you might be laughing that we say brutally cold when you might check quickly on Google and see that it's 62 degrees in San Antonio. But there's something about the fact that it's late March, that it's very cloudy, and that wind is upwards of 15 miles an hour, that it really does feel like a winter day. Not what you typically see during baseball season, but it's what we've gotten. And the only thing colder than the weather right now has been the bats of the Trinity Tigers, thanks to the pitching staff of UMHB, doing a phenomenal job after a tough weekend at ETBU. But Coney trying to change things, drawing the count full. Everyone in the Tiger dugout, over the railing, making all sorts of noise, trying to pump up their team. The 3-2 on the way from Roberts, and it misses high. Ball 4.
It's been a tough day for the offense, but Cal Coney working his second walk of the ball game, trying to find a spark. And we've seen Trinity have tough games offensively, but then one inning, get it together late and be able to win. Several times against Concordia, we saw that. So we'll see if there can be an inning for Trinity in this one.
Brings up Hunter Nevels, 2 for 2. As the story just continues to get better for the Corpus Christi native. Lines one into the gap. That's going to fall. Coney got a late read on it, so he'll hold up at second. But Hunter Nevels, 3 for 3, a 5-game hit streak, and there is nobody hitting better right now than Hunter Nevels.
And nobody hitting better, especially today. He is the only 3 hits of the ball game. Much needed for Trinity. One of their best players last weekend, continuing that trend, as he's just going to jump on this high pitch.
This is someone who did not play almost at all until his senior year. That is now. And he is taking full advantage of the opportunity in his final campaign. Leaves Tyler Pettit with runners on first and second. Nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. Tigers looking to get back in this one. And it's ball 1 high. Rodriguez has been standing up for a while on many pitches that he's asked for high. That one was certainly high, but too high to Pettit, who with one swing of the bat could completely change this game. He has Coney at second, Nevels at first, no one away. The 1-0 to Pettit, sharp ground ball, Grows on to Harmon, on to McCall. So I said with one swing he could change it, and he did change it, but not in the way the Tigers hoped. A 6-4-3 double play puts Roberts in a whole lot better of a situation now.
Yeah, the Crusaders defense came to play today, able to secure that was Groats, and flipping the double play to completely change this game, as you said. However, Trinity, that runner on third, cannot leave him there. Need to get at least one here in this 5th inning.
Slips out of the hand of Roberts there. Ball 1 to Gore. You've got Hagen playing even with the bag at third. Rest of the infield at normal depth with 2 away. Looper, a little closer this time, but still a ball. 2-0. Rodriguez checks in on that call. He has an open base to work with if he doesn't want to face Gore. The always dangerous outfielder. Got Baker on deck. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Gore trying to get his hands in on that one. Not where Roberts wanted it exactly. But the result is something he will live with. The 2-1 now. Just continues to get away from him there on that high breaking ball. Maybe losing a little bit of the grip on that cold night that we've described. So 3-1 to Ezra Gore. Tigers down 2. And it's ball 4. Drops his bat right on home plate. Runners at the corners with 2 away.
Ezra Gore able to work a walk, keep this inning alive. That's what he needed to do. Trying to find a way to bring Calcone in from third base. And at the very least have this deficit.
Jack Baker will look to correct the stat we're about to mention. Tigers 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. They've left 6 men on. Baker, someone who has utilized the opportunities he's been given here and there, and they're starting to become more consistent because of that. Now 13 appearances, 7th start with this one tonight. He went 4 for 10 in 2 games in TLU. So getting the start against UMHB. Can he deliver? First pitch swinging, line, but foul. Baker already surpassing the games he played in last year due to that lower leg injury he suffered. Has driven in 4, scored 7 times. But the number he's looking for is at least 1. 1 driven in. If he can get Coney in from third, also has Gore over at first. Who in the blink of an eye could take second. So Roberts having to be careful. Nearly hits Baker with a breaking ball. Instead, 1-1.
Yeah, it's been a few close calls on that breaking ball. Hasn't quite broken in time. As it's come close to some Tigers players. Definitely don't want a hit by pitch here if you're UMHB.
Rodriguez puts down his signs. Roberts ready. Fires towards Baker, who takes one low. And there did go Gore. Very late with the takeoff, but he took off nonetheless. That's stolen base number 12. And now Baker, if he can get good contact on one and put it into the outfield, could tie it up. Infield now fully back in their original positions, not worried about the runners, just the hitter. The 2-1, can't get a bat on it, does Baker there. He wanted it, it was right down the middle. But now Roberts, 1 pitch away from getting out of it. 2-2 with a 2-run lead for UMHB and 2 runners on for the Tigers. Wind howling in the background. Roberts trying to howl it past Baker. A nice block there from Rodriguez. Keeps it. Those 2 runners on, but a 3-2 count.
Yeah, run-saving stop there by Rodriguez. Able to get on top of that. One of the most pressure-packed moments as a catcher when you have a guy on third and you cannot let one behind you. Does a good job blocking it there.
The power bat of Lazera on deck. Can Roberts avoid him here? The 3-2, ball 4. Bases loaded for the Tigers, and Lazera coming up.
The glow stick working back-to-back walks as Gore and Baker reach, and you said it, Brian, Nick Lazera, the hard-hitting power bat, up next, and it looks like UMHB is going to make a change.
That is, in fact, the case. Coach Stosky grabs the ball from Eric Roberts, and whoever comes in will have quite the jam. It'll be Reed Cromie making in the trip from the bullpen. And this is the perfect time to stay with you during this break. Nick Lazera coming up to hit with the bases loaded. And I want to discuss a theory that you have told me on the baseball field about being due. You don't believe in being due statistically, but just knowing baseball, Nick Lazera is 0 for his last 15. He has the bases loaded, 2 outs, down 2. I feel like he's due.
If you subscribe to the theory of somebody being due, then I believe that is a situation where that would be applied, especially with the sizzling start he had to the season. That being said, when you go up to bat, your percent chance of hitting the baseball is going to be whatever your batting average is every time, because that's a success rate that you have, and that's the success rate that you're going to have when the next time you go up.
But I feel like baseball doesn't work to that thinking. It's its own thing.
My AP stats teacher, Miss Prano, would disagree with you, but a lot of people would disagree with me as well. So,
oh, don't worry. My AP stats teacher, Mr. Hughes, would also disagree with me, but he doesn't know baseball like we do, Cole.
That's fair. There is that extra thing about being 0 for 15. Maybe you're a little more motivated. That's something that we can't quantify. But being due is a myth. So, but we'll see if Nick Lazera can overcome that and end that streak here.
Yeah, we'll certainly find out one way or another. If being due is a thing in baseball, Reed Cromie trying to prove your side right, saying that, no, there is no such thing. He's 0 for 15. I'm going to make him 0 for 16. And that ERA 11.57 really doesn't show what he's done. Only 6 appearances. This will be his 7th. 7 innings thrown, but he's had a couple of bad outings that have really inflated that. Just a sophomore out of Midway, Texas, and someone that Coach Stosky said before the game is the perfect guy to go to for a couple of hitters or maybe 1 inning because of what you've gotten to see during this break. That really unique left-handed delivery, a mix of kind of a sidearm, underarm delivery, and what he'll do is he'll force Lazera, who's so powerful from the left side, to flip to the right side, where he's also powerful but not quite as comfortable. He doesn't get a lot of at-bats from this side, but he'll look to break that 0 for 15. Bases loaded. First pitch to Lazera, gets away from Rodriguez, and in comes the first run of the game. Coney scrambles home, and the Tigers within 1.
Take the opportunities while you can. Cal Coney able to see this pitch get away and takes off immediately. He was in there within seconds of that pitch getting away. And we talked about it. The most important role as a catcher, blocking those when there's a man on third base. It was a tough play there, but it's a tough break that got away.
Lazera, weak ground ball to the pitcher. Cromie makes the throw, so he doesn't break through. He is 0 for his last 16, but the Tigers do get a run thanks to the wild pitch out of the arm of Cromie. 2-1, the UMHB advantage. Tigers, though, remain 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. They're going to have to correct that if they want to win. Two to 1 ball game in San Antonio, top of the 6th inning. Mary Hardin Baylor on top, but Jack Breezy looking to keep it right where it's at, and we have gotten confirmation that Drew Breezy is tuning in. So hello, Coach Breezy. Have to be enjoying that 1 pitch out delivered by your son.
Yep, 1 pitch out. That's exactly what you want to start an inning, as Jack Breezy has really settled things down. UMHB getting a lot of base runners, as Breezy has looked pretty smooth here since he's come into the game.
Rodriguez now the catcher. Will look to break some of this rhythm that Breezy has gotten into. 2 innings now thrown, 2 hits allowed, but 2 strikeouts to keep the Crusaders scoreless. The check over at first. Rodriguez waiting to see if he went around, and he did. And that time he certainly went around 0-2 the count in favor of Breezy. And as we described, ready to go right away. It's Rodriguez having to break up the rhythm, but look at the quick pitch and the strike three. Breezy mixing up his delivery and fooling Rodriguez for out number 2.
Changing the levels of his pitches, those first two towards his knees, but that last one right up at his stomach. As Jack Breezy has been mowing down hitters lately. Definitely mowed down these last two hitters.
Little Johnny Cueto action. Harmon swings out the first pitch. It'll go foul, though. Johnny Cueto, so well known for how do you even describe it? I mean, he just does what he can to mess up the timing of the hitters, doing all sorts of things on the mound. And Breezy, easy, Breezy, beautiful Tiger baseball. 3 outs on just a handful of pitches gives the Tigers an opportunity to tie it back up in the 6th. Job well done by Jack Breezy. The wind now joined by the rain. You might have gotten a look at that during the break. Really coming down now. The umpires keeping play going. Tanner Haney leading off the bottom of the 6th. Tigers down just 1 after they got one on a wild pitch in the last frame. And Haney takes strike 1. Reed Cromie still out there. Got a little bit of a rude awakening with that wild pitch, but responded nicely, getting Lazera out, and now has a clean inning to work with.
Yeah, tough first pitch there, but able to respond and get the hitter out and really get his team out of a jam. Yes, let the one run in, but that damage could have been a lot worse as he's still working with a lead.
Working with the lead and working with an 0-2 count. Haney won't chase that one outside. It is crystal clear what Coach Stosky meant by an awkward, funky delivery from Cromie. Look at how far he comes off the mound. And it's working to perfection right now. A swing and a miss from Haney, cleaned up at first. 1 away in the 6th.
We talked about that response last inning, carrying over into this one as he makes quick work out of Tanner Haney, using that funky delivery to his advantage. As a quick out here in the bottom of the 6th.
And in response to the tough lefty, Coach Scannell going to a pinch hitter. Kai Tinker will come in for Corson Hastings, a left-handed hitting first baseman. And as you get a look at the replay, it is very difficult for any lefty hitter to face Cromie, so Tinker will give it a shot from the right side. Tinker, the senior from Simi Valley, California, goes after the first pitch, right to the first baseman. Easy toss to Cromie. 2 quick outs for UMHB.
Yeah, Breezy had a quick inning of his own. Cromie trying to do the same as a 1 pitch out here on Kai Tinker. 2 down in the blink of an eye.
And credit McCall, he had that fielding error earlier in the game, but there have also been some other tough plays that he's made look pretty easy. And now the lefty that will stay in the lineup is Jack Peterson, the 9-hole hitter. Has fought constantly to earn these lefty-lefty matchups, and Coach Scannell sticking with him. 0 for 2 on the day. Shows bunt, pulls it back as he sees it outside. And he is the type of person that if he gets on with a bunt or any other form of a hit, immediately turns into a de facto double. So Cromie, Rodriguez having the team up here as a battery. Hagan and McCall very aware on the corners, both of them playing even with the bag. Here we get a little delay, umpire talking to the UMHB dugout. Now Peterson back in the box. Umbrellas, as you see in the background, fully out for the Crew faithful. Credit to them for being out there in this weather. The 1-0 hits Peterson, and that is just about the worst case scenario for Cromie because Peterson likely won't be at first for long.
Nope, usually is not very good at stealing bases. One of the team leaders, as you see the rain in that shot, continuing to come down here in San Antonio.
You want to put numbers to the success of Jack Peterson? We've got plenty of numbers for you. A perfect 14 for 14 in the stolen base category, 27th best in the nation, and he already has a big lead. Of course, it's tougher to go off of a lefty, so we'll see if he can get a read on it, but Reed, Cromie, gets one in on Coney.
Trying to take advantage of this with 2 outs. Jack Peterson, we know his ability to get to second base, but Cal Coney going to try and bring him in and tie this game. Little 2-out Tiger rally.
In on the hands of Coney, ball 1. With 2 away, Coney, the freshman, trying to just do what he can to, like you said, Cole, either bring Peterson around or keep the chain moving. Peterson still at first, but he's off for second. The throw from Rodriguez, not in time. 15 for 15 for Jack Peterson.
You said it, Brian. He's at first, but he's not going to be there for long. Doesn't like first base, prefers second. So he's going to go get it. As he was off and running, and very difficult to catch Jack Peterson. Good job staying on the bag.
I'm not going to lie, Cole. After saying he was 14 for 14, that was a very close play. I was worried people were going to blame me if he was out. So thank you, Jack, for proving me right.
Well, it would have been your fault, so
clearly
that would have been a good thing that they blame you.
Very clearly, but if it was going to be my fault, then it's, I guess, my credit that he stole the base if we want to go there. And now he's just 2 bases away from tying it up. Coney, the 2-2, another one inside. Looked like it might have hit him, and I think it did. Not much of a reaction from Coney, and Peterson wanting to score all the way from second, but he'll have to head back. Because it did nick the foot of Coney.
Almost unfortunate that it hit him because it got away. And Jack Peterson, as you can see there, would have still been running. Though we don't know how much of that was because it tipped off of Coney's foot.
And who else would you want at the plate if you're the Tigers than Hunter Nevels? 3 for 3 on the day. You might also happen to look at that Tiger box score that has 3 hits. He has all of them. Can he come up with the biggest one yet? 2 outs in the 6th, 2 runners on. That one inside on Nevels. The Corpus Christi native, Cal Allen High School. A high school that is known for producing gritty players from the football gridiron to the baseball diamond. And Hunter, just the latest of those. Has Peterson at second, Coney at first. Gets a ground ball into left field. That's a base hit. Peterson waved around. This ball game is tied. Hunter Nevels 4 for 4, and he drives in the tying run tonight.
Well, if you're a Tigers fan, who do you want at the plate in that moment? Do you want Tyler Pettit? Do you want Ezra Gore? Tonight, you want Hunter Nevels. 4 for 4 after that. Just gets a piece of it. Puts it into play. And that's what he's done all night, is he's going to tie this ball game. Has all 4 Trinity hits and none more important than that one.
And this entire inning changing as Jack Peterson got hit, took off for second. But even before the steal, that chaos he creates by having a threat to go, throws the pitcher completely off, gets the defense moving in ways that they don't want to move, and look what it leads to, a tie ball game for the Tigers.
Not only that, all of this damage done with 2 outs. Two quick outs at the beginning of this inning. Jack Peterson able to create chaos and now able to tie this ball game.
And it's something I love being here all year, Cole, is we're able to see the trends and we're able to revisit talking points that we've talked about in the past on Tiger Network. And Jack Peterson is just one of those in that 9-hole. Way back from that BSC series, it was Coach Weisberg of the Panthers who said, hey, look, our 7, 8, 9 hitters could be the heart of the order of any other lineup, but I want guys at the bottom who will get on and then allow my guys at the top to drive them in. Well, Peterson, we've highlighted him as that for the Tigers. He does that every single time. So often, 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the order, you think, oh, I can take a little bit of a break, but it's exactly the opposite with Jack Peterson.
Well, that's why we've seen guys like Michael Montrez and Colt Harris hitting the bottom third of the lineup this season. Tim Scannell spreading his talent throughout the lineup, and Jack Peterson consistently the 9-hole hitter. But really, it's setting the table for the leadoff hitter in the top of the order, as he's just such a threat to getting the scoring position by himself and allowing the top of the order to drive him in. And that's a large part of what happened in that 2-out rally.
And especially now when you have what has become an automatic hit in the form of Hunter Neville's batting second. Now you have Tyler Pettit coming up with a couple of runners on. These are dangerous Tiger bats that haven't shown the explosiveness that we're used to, but it's still there. And any given moment, it could explode. And it happened last year against UMHB, a 3-3 game in the 7th inning. Colt Harris hit a grand slam against the Crusaders. It's 2-2 in the 6th, and the bases aren't loaded, but Pettit again in a spot where he can do some damage. The new pitcher for UMHB, Cameron Bogan, will have to be careful. He goes in on Pettit and gets a foul ball to start this at-bat.
Big for Trinity to be able to tie this game, but the inning not over. And job not done for UMHB as Tyler Pettit, Ezra Gore coming up. Have to get through Tyler Pettit.
Breaking ball, laid off of by Pettit. Really tracked that one well. If you're looking closely enough, you could see his eyes moving with the ball. Sign that he is seeing it well. Hasn't shown it today with the 0 for 2 effort, but did draw a walk. And looking to come through with Coney at second, Neville's at first. 2 away in the bottom of the 6th. Tie ball game in San Antonio. That one gets away from Bogan, and it's a 2-1 count now in favor of the catcher. Rain continues to pour down in the Alamo City. Tigers hoping runs pour with it. Bogan ready, fires in, ball 3.
You can hear the energy coming out of this dugout. They've been pretty energetic all night, but ramped up even more now that they've tied this game and have an opportunity to take the lead.
Will Bogan attack Pettit here? 3-1 the count, 2 runners on. Doesn't hit the zone. Ball 4, bases loaded for Ezra Gore.
You see the patience coming out of these guys. A lot of walks in this game. Tyler Pettit working his second, and that's going to load the bases for the 2nd time today. But I want to talk about this Trinity dugout. You can't see it on your screen, but all of them still up against the railing, involved in this game. As you see there now, does not matter that it's raining. Trying to support their teammates however they can.
First pitch a little high to Gore. Bogan really wanted that one, instead falls behind the cleanup hitter. That graphic a little off, but he does lead the team in runs batted in, 15 of them coming into this game. Looking for a pair here. The 1-0 swing and more frustration shown by Gore, but a tough play made eventually by the charging Crew outfielder. Could have been a Bermuda's Triangle situation, but they avoided disaster. You'll get a good look at it on the replay. It was a pitch that Gore could have handled, but the hand's not in there quite fast enough. And you see a great job by DeBerardini calling everybody off and saying, I got it. But we've got a tie ball game in San Antonio. Top of the 7th, after the Tigers tie it up. Natasha Bedingfield says to feel the rain on your skin. And the Tigers are not just feeling the rain, but they are beginning their new book, as she recommends, with a brand new ball game. 2-2 in the 7th with Breezy still out there.
Yeah, Jack Breezy has really calmed things down, limited the base runners, especially in that last inning. As you said, easy breezy. Has been using the changeup very efficiently as he did there.
The breaking ball this time gets the strike called on Hagen. Represents the number 9 spot, just like Peterson did for the Tigers. 1-2, 2 up afterwards, and Hagen doing his job thus far, 3-1. Breezy taking a breath this time before towing the rubber. Now he's ready to fire. And it's a foul ball. Breezy has focused more on the mound, but he did come to Trinity as someone who was planning to be a catcher and a pitcher. So if you're looking for someone who knows the ins and outs of the game, you have found your man. But that time, losing the breaking ball, and Hagen will take the free trip to first to lead off the 7th.
You have another lead-off batter able to reach for UMHB. As I believe in at least half the innings that's happened. But Trinity's pitchers have been able to respond so far. And we'll see if Jack Breezy can do just that.
Tyler Betts has been on fire, and he continues to be. Gets a single past the dive of Baker, and Neville's is 4 for 4. So Tyler Betts says, anything you can do, I can do exactly the same. 4 for 4 for the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, he's been working up the middle quite a bit. And does so there. Jack Baker nearly able to make that play. But, oh, he just barely got a piece of that. That ball was dipping right in front of him. Able to barely touch that. Put it right up the middle. And UMHB was first and second. Nobody out.
Bunt put down, but foul for DeBerardini. The numbers back you up, Cole. The Crew have gotten the leadoff runner on in 6 of 7 innings now. So we've described our feelings that they've had runners on, and they really have. They've put pressure on the Tiger pitching staff all night long. They haven't come through with runners in scoring position except for that one hit by the catcher Rodriguez. Will DeBerardini show bunt again or swing away? It's a bunt. Pushes it to third base. It's a good one. Breezy, the throw to first in time. But the job done by DeBerardini. Runners on second and third with just 1 away.
Great throw by Jack Breezy, able to jump on this and get the 1 out. You need to get at least 1 out of this situation because that's just a great bunt, perfectly executed. Right on that third base line, running away from everybody. But Breezy able to make the strong throw and tinker with the stretch to get the sure out.
Before Jones can do some damage for the Crew, a visit to Breezy on the mound. Is it a change or a chat? It's a change. Jack Breezy doing a great job tonight. 3 innings, just 3 hits allowed, 3 strikeouts as well. But in this very moment, responsible for the runners on second and third. 1 out in the 7th. So the Tigers turn to Harrison DeRoe, who we will talk about after a brief pause. You want to know how much the Tigers want this one? Turning to their shutdown arm in the pen, Harrison DeRoe did just that on Sunday afternoon against Texas Lutheran. He came in against TLU's best hitter. Tyler Post had already hit 2 home runs, driven in 5 in just that one game, had runners on 2 of them, in fact. It was a 5-run game at that point, but still a very big moment in the middle of that afternoon. And Harrison got Post out, then was able to really clean things up, 2 1/3, closed it out for the Tigers, looking to do the same in a big spot tonight.
Well, not only that, a week ago today, had threw 80 pitches against McMurray, able to settle that down before it eventually got away from Trinity. So a lot of work for Harrison DeRoe in the last week, and we'll see how long he's able to go today.
And something to really keep in mind as DeRoe comes in is that number right there on your screen, 2 of them. 32 strikeouts, and it says 19.3, meaning 19 1/3 innings. That is a ridiculous ratio for DeRoe. He averages 15.07 strikeouts per 9 innings. That is a stat in which the Tigers rank 9th in the country. And with runners on 2nd and 3rd, 1 away, the infield will be in, runners looking to get home quickly, you want someone who can strike a batter out, and DeRoe can strike a batter out.
Absolutely. The numbers don't lie. And in that situation, it shows that he's one of the best pitchers in the country at striking batters out, and that's exactly what Trinity's going to need. Needing 2 outs, especially when a sac fly can score a run here.
And a bit of a surprise, as we mentioned, that infield, they are not playing in. So despite the runners in scoring position, just the corners creeping in as the pitch delivered by DeRoe, a strike to Hunter Jones, who hasn't given us a whole lot of time to talk about him. He's swung pretty early in his at-bats. But Coach Stosky saying he is a chameleon because he can adjust to any situation in which they need him. And the crew desperately need him here. 0-1 the count. DeRoe fires in a breaking ball. Strike 2.
Able to locate that on the bottom part of the zone. And that's the thing that Harrison DeRoe can do. He can locate his breaking ball pretty much wherever he wants, and it makes it really difficult for hitters to get on top of it.
Now has all the tools in his toolbox to work with. Which one will he select? The 0-2 on Jones. Breaking ball chopped to 3rd. Tough play. Goes to 1st for the easy out. And the run does come around to score. It was really do or die for Haney. Looked to throw home, but with the rain especially, didn't feel all that comfortable making that throw.
Yeah, I think Tanner Haney probably did the right thing there. You don't want to force anything. We saw against Birmingham Southern in Game 2 when Trinity tried to force it to home and get the out and stop the run from scoring. The throw ended up getting away, and the leading run came in for the Panthers, avoiding a situation like that.
Guerin gets the barrel on a baseball, drives it up the middle, 4-2 the advantage for UMHB as they quickly double up the Tigers.
I think once again, right up the middle, as UMHB has been splitting this defense all night as they bring in both of those runners they had on 2nd and 3rd.
It was that patented DeRoe breaking ball, but Guerin waiting for it. And driving in a run along the way. Now McCall with 2 outs and the runner on first. Crusaders up 2. Fastball misses inside. Duro giving up the runs, but they will not be charged on him. They will be charged against Jack Breezy. So his line now complete. 3 full innings, 2 runs allowed. So despite a great outing at the start, not finishing the way he quite wanted it. Breaking ball loops low in the turf for ball 2. Crusaders have been right there all night. And now finally 2 big 2-out hits, giving them the advantage they've sought after.
Well, both of these teams have had a lot of runners in scoring position. Trinity's mostly by way of walks. Crusaders able to get a decent amount of hits in this one. But it's been about who's been cashing in on these opportunities. And UMHB has the 4-2 lead, and they have probably the lead in the opportunities as well.
Duro falling behind 3-0, takes a step behind the mound, takes his hat off, and takes a deep breath. No rush, now ready to go. Sways back and forth on the rubber before delivering ball 4. So he loses the batter from the start. None of those particularly close, and now Rhett Rose will look to grow the UMHB lead.
Duro just trying to find a way to get this last out. It is what it is. Wasn't able to quite shut it down, but don't want to let this get away from them. Still a 2-run game.
Rhett Rose, another crew member that goes with no batting gloves. And it's work tonight, 2 for 3, and he gets under that one deep to left, but there is Gore. Maybe on a different night with warmer weather and no rain, that one goes a little farther. But Trinity catches a break as that one stays in the park. The crew, though, jump on top 4-2 as it's time to stretch in San Antonio. A chilly one, but a flame-throwing inning for UMHB.
Following the 7th inning for the Tigers, batting 5th, shortstop number 7, Jack Baker.
Tigers worked so hard to tie it up in the 6th, only to see the crew jump back on top in the 7th. Now the first pitch grounded up the middle. Even Baker's speed won't beat that throw out. 1 pitch, 1 out for Cameron Bogan.
And that's been one of the great improvements from last weekend to this weekend is the UMHB defense. A great ranging play by Groats. Able to make that throw as he was kind of moving to his right a little bit, to his left actually. And able to make kind of that sidearm throw and get Jack Baker out. Jack Baker very quick. Somebody who can probably reach with that.
Lazera goes after the first pitch, and he lines a single into right. So he didn't do it with the bases loaded or with 2 runners on after the wild pitch, but he comes through and breaks that 0 for 16 snide.
Yep, able to get his first hit in a while. Has to feel good. But we always talk about it, Brian. What does he do?
Hits the ball hard somewhere.
Absolutely, and that was really hard. You could tell right off the bat, the way that clinked, that he got a hold of that one. Puts it into right field, and Trinity trying to make something happen. They need some runs.
Haney takes the off-speed delivery for a strike one. 0 for 2 on the evening, bringing him to 3 hits out of 11 opportunities against the team which his dad coaches, at least as an assistant. Behind 1 strike, and now even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Todd Haney, the father of Tanner, has quite the coveted career. Not just an assistant now with UMHB, but he spent several years as an assistant coach for Texas State. And as a player, wow, what a career he had. Played for UT, was a 2-time first-team all-conference member. As he sees his son take ball 2 here. And he led the Longhorns to the College World Series. And when his college career came to an end, well, he stepped up to the big leagues, was drafted in the 38th round. Played some with the Seattle Mariners, the Montreal Expos, New York Mets. Now hoping his Crusaders can catch the fly ball lifted by his son, and they do. Has to be an awkward feeling when you want your son to record an out.
Yeah, definitely. Probably a little conflicted when that ball's in the air. Obviously, you want your team to win. But at the same time, if anybody's going to do it, you'd want it to be Tanner.
Not going to be Tanner this time. Will it be Tinker? He came in to pinch hit for Corson Hastings. Was retired on the first pitch, but now he is there defensively and offensively in the bottom of the 7th. Takes strike 1 on the corner. Lazera still over there at first. Bogan doesn't seem to be fazed, though, by these Tiger hitters going right at them. The junior from Tomball, Texas, who hasn't pitched in about 2 weeks. Gets a swing over the top of that one in the turf. No balls, 2 strikes now for Bogan. Last appearing on March 18th against the Warhawks of McMurray, went 1 inning and gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. But a trusted arm tonight, looking to get out of the bottom of the 7th. Rodriguez giving all sorts of signals. Now Bogan is ready. Leg kick and the fire. Dribbler to second. Harmon has it. Out number 3. Shutdown inning provided by Cameron Bogan and the crew, who will take a 4-2 lead to the top of the 8th. Top of the 8th in San Antonio. Mary Hardin Baylor 4, Trinity 2, and Cole. This Crusader team came into tonight with 4 wins and 12 losses, but this looks everything but a 4-12 team.
Well, Coach talked about it. Picked to be 3rd in the conference, and the talent's still there, just all up in their heads. Does not appear to be that way tonight, as they are up 2 against a ranked team on the road right now.
A ranked team in the Tigers, those new rankings coming out this week from D3Baseball.com, has the Tigers at 24. As Rodriguez flails at that one. But he has been a key tonight, driving into the first two for the Crew. And behind the plate has done a masterful job leading a whole cast of characters out of the bullpen for UMHB. And he gets more good wood on this one. A line drive base hit into left. Baker nearly had it. But Rodriguez, the freshman, continues to impress. And he is one of the names of many new guys for UMHB that made Coach Stosky so confident coming in, because they had 7 out of 9 everyday starters in their lineup return from a year ago. Mentioned how last year was a historic season for them. And so he really felt that this team, with a few reinforcements like the freshman Rodriguez, would pick up right where they left off. That hasn't been the case so far, but we're seeing the talent that is right there in that lineup. From 1 to 9, it's been a tough at-bat for the Tiger pitching staff. Yeah,
lots of talent, but you're seeing the adjustments that they're making in the improvement. We talked about the defense, 15 unearned runs given up against ETBU. Not the case tonight. This defense, only 1 error, very solid. So if they keep improving at things that have been going wrong, I mean, logic says that you're going to win more games.
And he had a fascinating answer to a question I like to pose to any coach, no matter the circumstance. Mr. Rowe readies his 0-1 and fires it past Harmon.
I guess that was 0-2.
Yeah, and again, the situation behind the plate, you saw Harmon take a step out of the batter's box, taking a lot of time. So strike number 3 for Harrison DeRoe, who will certainly take it. But getting back to UMHB, asking their coach, where do you see the biggest room for improvement? And he said, if anybody has the internet, they know we haven't met expectations. Just look at our record. But he truly believes that this team has the talent, and what he's reinforced to them as Dave Smith makes a visit to the mound, you don't have to have the best year of your career. You just have to be what you are. And if everybody does just that, we'll be fine. We're right there with UT Dallas. We're right there with ETBU. That has been his message to his team. And while it hasn't landed in the first 16 games, maybe the 17th has been the magic number.
Well, that's the thing with college baseball, is that you can have a rough start to the year like this, but once you get in the conference play, you can turn it on and make a run in the conference tournament, and then you turn your season around. And that's what UMHB hopes to do. Have never won the conference tournament, but if they can rattle off some wins against conference opponents, then who knows?
DeRoe has the 1-0 on Hagen after the visit from Smith. Rocking back and forth before looping in a breaking ball. That's a ball. Action in the Tiger bullpen. DeRoe not charged with the 2 runs he gave up, but he did give them up, giving UMHB the lead. Trying to limit it to just 2, though, against the bottom of the Crew lineup. Close call goes the way of DeRoe. Strike 1, 2-1 the count. This time it's low to Hagen, and he has a 3-ball, 1-strike advantage. Rain has stopped for the moment, allowing some people to head back towards the bleachers. Still not a huge crowd, but hope you're enjoying it on Tiger Network. It's been a good one. The 3-1 to Hagen. Strike 2. He thought he was headed to first, but right back to the batter's box he goes. Full count. Certainly did his best to sell it. Now Pettit. What will he call for his pitcher? Breaking ball beauty. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. DeRoe goes to the slider and gets strike 3.
Yep, a slider going to cut inside. Really great pitch. Very appetizing for a hitter when they see that come out of the hand, but it's just going to run away from them. That's exactly what happened there to get strike 3.
Now comes the one man no one has gotten out. Tyler Betts, 4 for 4. Can he make it a Subway 5 for 5? Not there on that first pitch. Way outside, but way off on the swing as well. He has swung early, he has swung often, and he has reached often. Exactly what you want in a leadoff hitter, setting the table for the Crew. Does fall behind, no balls, 2 strikes. Durow already 2 strikeouts tonight, looking to make it a 3rd. Pettit shuffles way out to the opposite batter's box. That's where it is. Now he makes the throw, not in time. The catcher, Rodriguez, showing off his speed. Now a base hit could drive him in.
Very important steal in a very important situation. Trying to pad this lead. And you said it perfectly, Brian. Base hit drives you in now. Completely changes the situation of this at-bat.
DeRose 1-2 to Betts. Holds up in time. An aggressive hold, if you could call it that. Looked to be full throttle on the swing and somehow kept it back. Evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, there was going to be a lot of oomph behind that swing, but able to keep it from crossing the plane. A really impressive take.
Pettit now setting up inside for Durow. Durow misses out, and it's a full count. Betts, not only his hits, but it's just every aspect of his game tonight has impressed from inning number 1 to inning number 8. You can see why he has now made 11 starts after not being in the starting lineup, leading it off because of what we've seen. Waits for the 3-2 from Durow, runner on second, and it's ball 4. Battling back from 0-2 to draw the walk, Tyler Betts' magical night simply continues to impress.
If UMHB is able to drive in one more run and extend this lead, that is the at-bat you're going to look at. Was down 0-2 against a lights-out pitcher like Harrison Durow, and was able to work a walk and extend this inning as Dave Smith will come out.
He puts the fingers up, signaling a change. So the Tigers will look to someone else to get out of the 8th. But as we have a couple of times, we'll stick right here on Tiger Network with you, because it's the other question that we ask all coaches. Already talked about what do you see as the biggest room for improvement. But the first one is, what have you been happiest with? And the answer right away led to Tyler Betts. The answer from Mike Stosky was, we've gotten the chance to play several guys. We've shuffled lineups. We haven't really had 1 through 9 penciled in from the get-go. And he's happy with that because it allowed someone like Betts to come in. He replaced DeBerardini when DeBerardini suffered a finger injury, had to miss a couple of games. Betts came in there, proved that he was worth it. And now even with DeBerardini back in the lineup, Betts has just moved over to right, DeBerardini in center. There's room for both of them with how well they've done.
Well, it's always great when you have that flexibility. When you shuffle lineups like that, that's what you want. You want somebody to stand out, to separate themselves, and that's what Trinity is still looking for as they continue to shuffle lineups. But it's always great when a player comes out of nowhere and becomes important for your team.
The freshman from Round Rock, Texas. Could call it nowhere or could call it north of Austin. Either way, UMHB happy to have him just a little more north of Austin than Round Rock in Belton, right along I-35. These two schools that face off with one another in seemingly every sport, Cole.
Yeah, UMHB and Trinity. A lot of these Texas schools playing each other. UMHB and Trinity played in the football playoff as Mary Hardin Baylor getting the win there. But have the lead now, trying to hang on to it and extend it at this point.
UMHB versus Trinity, a tale as old as time, and the latest chapter going to be written by Jack Martinez one way or another. Has runners on first and second with 2 away in the top of the 8th, and it is Caden DeBerardini. Change up, strike 1. It's a tough name to say, but it's worth working to say it right, because he has been everything the Crew could hope for. Has to move his knees a bit to get out of that Martinez delivery. 1-1 from the sophomore from Corpus Christi. Very similar to Durow. A strikeout per 9 inning ratio that is top of the line And he gets a changeup swing and a miss there. 1-2 now on to Berardini.
Yeah, you can tell how Trinity feels about the importance of this game using Duro and Martinez. Trying to hold the deficit.
Hold the deficit, they will. Martinez comes in, does the job. Strikeout of De Berardini. The Crew stay on top 4-2, but that's it as we head to the bottom of the 8th.
Now pitching for the Crusaders, number 20, Jacob Haynes. Bottom of the 8th inning for the Tigers. Batting ninth, center fielder number 24, Jack Peterson.
The youth movement continues for Mary Hardin Baylor. For the 3rd time tonight, a freshman pitcher on the mound. And how about this? Jacob Haynes making his career debut at the college level. Throws a ball on the first pitch to Jack Peterson. But Haynes, the freshman from Livingston, Texas, how about this moment to start off your career?
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. In a game where they're trying to hang on to a lead, only a 2-run lead, throwing him in there and seeing what he can do in a pressure situation.
Peterson goes down to get it, drives it to right, and it's off the wall. Peterson chugging for a second. It's going to be close, but he's safe. Double to lead off the 8th for Jack Peterson, who doesn't wait for a stolen base to get to second. He just hits his way there.
Oh, you could see him smelling too right away. This is a very hard hit ball. Gets all the way to the wall. It's an inside pitch. Gonna get a hold of it. As that sounded really good, but he's going to smell 2 right away. No doubt in his mind where he was going, and there couldn't be because that was a very close throw, as you noted, Brian.
He was not even at first when the ball was in the hand of the right fielder, Betts, yet that is how fast he is. Now Coney, with nobody out, represents the top of the order for the Tigers, down 2, but still have 6 outs to work with. Looking to wake up their offense that is 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Freshman looking to alter that here. 0-1 to Coney. Swing and a miss on the slider. That does just that. Slides way out there.
Yeah, really great pitch. Lots of kind of a whirly-bird movement. Very effective so far as he's up 0-2.
At the very least, Coney would love to move him over to third. Can he make contact on the 0-2? Lays off of it. A good take. Very similar to Pettit's earlier, where you could see him tracking it the entire way home. Haynes will be forced to make another pitch to the second baseman. Freshman on freshman duel. Peterson continues to make noise at second. We'll have to head back, but he'll be safe because this one's out of play.
Yeah, find a way to stay alive. Takes a pitch low. Able to touch one inside. Just find a way to get that pitch that you want. Got to stay in the batter's box to do it.
Rodriguez looking for it outside. It's there, but Coney able to take it, and it's an even count. Coney last played on March 21st, and he hasn't had a hit since that game against Hardin Simmons. Runner going, Peterson off for third, safe. A swinging strike is out number one, but Peterson continues to rack up the stolen bases. Now a perfect 16 for 16 and 90 feet away from coming across.
Always a threat to go. Runner's a little more hesitant to go when it's to third base because of the shorter throw, but Jack Peterson, best on the team at stealing, and the hot hand of Hunter Nevels will be up in the batter's box now.
Does hot hand come anywhere close to describing what Hunter Nevels has been tonight? Serves it over to right field. It carries all the way to the warning track, but Betts, fittingly enough, the only one to retire Nevels tonight. Peterson comes around to score, but an important second out for UMHB on the sac fly from Nevels.
Yeah, Hunter Nevels does exactly what he needs to do here. Find a way to get another run in. Peterson at third, you have outs to work with. Get the sac fly. And if you wanted a way to describe how hot Hunter Nevels is right now, you could cook an egg on his hand.
Even on this cold night, Cole.
Absolutely.
And stat-wise for him, just like Betts, as Pettit takes his first strike, he'll stay perfect because that sacrifice fly won't count as an at-bat against him. So still 4 for 4 is Nevels, just like Betts is. Those two really trading blows, both right fielders, both 4 for 4. Sometimes the stories write themselves.
Yep, the counterparts. Two best players on the field tonight.
And see, I promise you, I have not been crazy. We catch it in the moment as it happens. Taking too long to deliver a pitch results in a ball. So the couple of times that it seems like we've scrambled because the count suddenly changes, we see it right there.
Yep, good eye, Brian. Able to catch that. Umpire brought out his stopwatch. It was a good indicator. As this count will be 2-1 now.
It's something that broadcasters and fans and players, everyone, having to adjust to at the D3 level, at the MLB level. New rules trying to speed up the game. And the team's really struggling tonight more than we've seen throughout the year.
Yeah, I think we've seen that rule in effect tonight as many times as we had seen it all year. But Pettit will take it in this at-bat, controlling this one at 3-1.
Yes, it is 3-1, despite you seeing 2-1 on the graphic. And here is the 3-1, resulting in ball 4 to Tyler Pettit. A patient at-bat by Pettit leaves Gore now at the plate with 2 outs in the 8th.
Pettit 3 extra base hits last weekend, but tonight it's been the patience of him that's rewarded him with 3 walks. It's the difference in these games for Tyler Pettit as he works his way back.
Gore 0 for 3 on the evening. Pettit not going very far from first. Gore punches it towards second, and it gets into right field for a base hit. Gore got just enough of it to get it through past Harmon, and here come the Tigers with a little 2-out rally.
Yep, Ezra Gore able to find this hole. Find a way to get that baseball through the infield and move over Tyler Pettit, keeping this inning alive. As Jack Baker will have a runner in scoring position to work with.
And Cedric Bowman will come in to pinch run for Tyler Pettit. A move made entirely for speed. Bowman there, number 48, has made just 1 appearance this year. Had a great afternoon, 2 for 4, but right now not about his bat, it's about his legs. And it's about the bat of Baker, who waits on his shoulders as Bowman gets to third after that pass ball right away paying off.
Well, that's exactly why you bring Cedric Bowman in, to take advantage if something like that happens. The ball actually doesn't get too far away, but Cedric Bowman, his legs, able to wheel on over to third base. And now 2 runners in scoring position for Baker.
Tigers down just 1. Baker looks at a breaking ball, strike 1. After he saw that one land, looks right at the pitcher Haynes, making his collegiate debut in quite the pickle. Baker, the 1-1, looks at it low for ball 2. The Tigers 1 for 9 this evening. With runners in scoring position, they have left 12 men on base. But with Bowman on third and Gore on second, is this the moment they come through? Baker and his glow stick wait back on that breaker, and it's an even count.
Really late break into the zone as Baker caught looking at that one. 2-2, we'll see what Baker can do with the glow stick.
Haynes fires the 2-2, another breaker, foul ball into the bricks.
That's what you need to do, find a way to touch it. Stay alive however you can, whether it's taking the pitch or fouling it off somehow. Baker able to just get a piece of the bat on it as it'll skip back.
Baker has gotten at-bats in 8 games this year, has a hit in all but 2 of them. So when he's been in there, he has come through. No moment bigger than this one, though. Down 1 in the bottom of the 8th, as 2 Tigers in scoring position. The 2-2 to Baker. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jacob Haynes gets the strikeout. Talk about a career debut for number 20, the freshman from Livingston. Gets the Tigers out of this inning with no further damage. What a moment for UMHB.
Yeah, how about that for a debut? As this breaking ball used it very effectively throughout this entire at-bat. Baker just swings through it.
Thankful for those great looks at not only the action of the pitching and the hitting and the fielding, but those reactions as well, as these guys care about the game so much and showing every ounce of emotion there. It's time for the 9th inning in San Antonio. Jack Martinez on the mound after one more quick break.
Off the line game for the Crusaders. Batting third, left fielder number 15, Hunter Jones.
Ball 1 thrown by Jack Martinez, who has one sole responsibility: keep the deficit at 1. The Tigers clipped off 1 run in the 8th, but they left 2 more on, and now a bouncer to short. Baker, the long throw. Out is the call. It was a close one after the bounce, but Tinker gathered it for out number 1.
Great important stretch by Kai Tinker, able to go out and get that throw. As every out matters when you're down 1 in the 9th.
As has been the case all night long, Jones seemingly doesn't really want us to talk about him because he swings at the first pitch. Now it leaves it up to Guerin, who very similarly has swung early. Difference is last time he drove in a run with a base hit to center.
Yeah, an important run at that.
And what he seems to be so good at in the 2 at-bats that we've seen him lately is waiting back on the slow pitches. That time, a changeup of Martinez that it was foul, but he waited back on it. And Dureau threw a curveball that he was able to hold back his bat on and send it into center. But this time, the flame from Martinez is what gets him. So a good adjustment by the sophomore, seeing his ability to hit the slow stuff, going straight with the heat.
Well, that's part of what makes Jack Martinez so successful, is he has that changeup that can be thrown to lefties or righties, one of his favorite pitches, but can also hit 94 on the fastball. And when you have that combination, it can be really hard to get a hit on him.
Changeup, strike. McCall didn't love the call, but he takes a breath and stays in the batter's box, down 0-1. Swing and a miss on that one, up and in. Tipped it into the glove of Matt McNaney. We should note is in there after Pettit was pinch run for by Cedric Bowman. McNaney wanted it high, got it low, so it's ball 1. Bowman got 90 feet away from doing what he was there to do. But the strikeout of Baker kept him there and kept the UMHB lead. Martinez, though, keeps it at 4-3. Another dazzling display by the sophomore from Corpus. 3 strikeouts. Just another day in the park for him. And it's a 4-3 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 9th. A tight one in San Antonio. Cole, this is what we live for. Good baseball on Tiger Network.
Yeah, really good game here. A lot of back and forth. UMHB had the 2-0 lead. Trinity able to punch back, tie this game. And now 4-3, the Crusaders trying to hang on, get their 5th win of the year, and what a win it would be. As a talented program, as their coach consistently noted, but just haven't been able to find wins. And a win here at Trinity would be huge.
The Crew are 10-29 all-time against Trinity on the baseball diamond. Not the same dominance that they've shown in some other sports like football that you mentioned earlier. But last year, they got one from the Tigers. They won 12-10 in Belton. It was the first time that they had won since 2017. 7 straight losses as the Tigers really handled their business against the Crew. But now UMHB looking to come into San Antonio and steal one from the Tigers. And they are 3 outs away from doing it, and they are turning to the senior, Alex Palczewski from Fort Worth, Texas, to do it.
Yeah, big moment for the senior. Trying to hold on to this lead, collect their 5th win of the year. You never know. You get that one win against a ranked opponent on the road, it changes how you feel about yourself. And then we'll see if they can go on a run after that.
And Palczewski, we've seen him before on Tiger Network. Last year came in for the Crew. Also pitched very well against Trinity last year. Appeared in both games in Belton and in San Antonio. But he's also a familiar face to people in San Antonio, including Dave Smith, because he's from around here. He originally went to the Alamo Heights School District before becoming homeschooled and then eventually moving to Fort Worth. But Palczewski, very well known by me, who knows him personally. He was actually in a fantasy baseball league with me that you have now joined in his spot, actually, because he has said, I'm a little too busy as a college pitcher. So now you're in his spot. How amazing to see him in this moment.
That's really cool that he gets to try and shut down Trinity in his hometown. Trying to close this game out. But fantasy baseball, very intense. Not for the lighthearted. As I have another draft tomorrow. Really diving into it this year.
But Palczewski working closely with Dave Smith, being from San Antonio as a pitcher. So the pitching coach from Trinity having a hand in the preparation for Palczewski, who is going to have to go through Lazera, Haney, and Tinker if that stays the due-up order for Trinity. Lazera, the first of those, takes ball 1 low. He is 1 for 4 today, finally broke out of that 0 for 16 streak. So will that base hit give him something good to think about in the bottom of the 9th? He awaits the 1-0 and takes it in for strike 1. That is quite the dangerous spot to play with, though, against Lazera. We saw him hit a couple of home runs earlier this season against Birmingham Southern, right in that same spot. Palczewski goes a little more away from the plate, and it draws a foul ball from Lazera.
Yep, able to get ahead 1-2. Don't want the Tigers to get any action or momentum. We've seen that the Tigers have been able to build some base runners throughout these innings. Trying to avoid that here.
The 1-2 pulled foul. A hanging breaking ball that Lazera got all of, but couldn't keep it fair.
Just ahead of it. Gonna swat it foul, but he was on that. And Nick Lazera does not miss a pitch like that very often.
The 1-2 to Lazera. Strike 3, no. You can hear the roar out of the UMHB dugout. They thought they had it. And personally, I thought it was right there too.
Well, we'll see here, Brian, and that's tough.
Massive break.
Looked like a strike right at the end. I'm surprised he didn't get the call. A great job by Rodriguez framing that pitch. As that one's outside, but the Crusaders dugout still irate from that call.
And especially Rodriguez there behind the plate has really been frustrated all night with some of the close calls going against the Crew. What will Lazera do with a new chance at it? The full count, nobody on in the bottom of the ninth. Tigers down 1. Lazera gets a hold of this one, sends it the other way, but not quite far enough. DeBardini right there for the first out.
A good at-bat with both of these guys involved. Strong battle, but ultimately Lazera flying out to center. And the all-important first out, trying to collect the save.
For Palczewski, this is his 7th appearance of the season. An ERA at 9 currently. First pitch to Haney. Fastball pumped in for strike 1. Most recently on Saturday against ETBU, went 2 innings, gave up 3 hits and 1 run, but also struck out 3 Tigers. Stands in very tall at 6'6". The delivery there outside. By far the tallest UMHB pitcher. And really the tallest UMHB player at 6'6". Gets a pop fly off the bat of Haney. Charging in is Jones. And he gets underneath it, out number 2.
A hard hit ball under it though. It's just going to break inside pretty late. And out number 2, trying to collect the 5th win of the season for the Crusaders.
Down to their last opportunity. Coach Scannell goes to another pinch hitter, Christian Holloway. The last sign of life for the Tigers. 2 outs in the last frame. And he comes in for Kai Tinker. First pitch to Holloway, ball in the turf. Holloway has shown the capability of sending one out of the ballpark. 2 home runs this season. A Tiger team that has not shown a ton of power yet. Just 10 home runs and 20% of them off the bat of Holloway. He's ahead 1-0 and drives this one the other way to right. But the catch is made by Tyler Betts. No one more deserving of the final out than Tyler Betts. The UMHB Crusaders march into town and beat the Tigers 4-3.
You said it perfectly. Nobody more deserving of that final out, and a great out at that. As Holloway gets a hold of this one, really well hit ball, but able to make the read, run back towards the wall, and comfortably make the catch to end the game. It was a gritty effort by UMHB to get this 4-3 victory.
Gritty indeed. You might remember, Cole, you said that run that Betts scored late in the game, you might want to circle back at that and remember it. Well, that was the game-winning run. So he closes out a day in which he went 4 for 4 and walked once, came around to score, and his run was the 4th of the evening for UMHB, equaling the game-winning run.
And this has to feel good for the Crusaders after the weekend that they had against ETBU. You know, they want to be at the top of the conference, obviously are not with the record they have, but to be able to rebound like that and come in here to Trinity and win a game like this has to feel good for Mary Hardin-Baylor.
Just 10 wins in their history against Trinity, 29 losses. Well, you can make it 11 wins for Mary Hardin-Baylor. You see the Tigers had 14 runners left on base. They had their chances, but they did not punch them home. And now, a couple of tough days to wait for what is a massive, massive series in conference play. All of these games matter, but the conference ones are the ones that really count. And with the Centenary Gentlemen coming to town Friday and Saturday, those are 3 games the Tigers need to get and want to get.
Yeah, Centenary Gentlemen, defending SCAC Conference champions, as they beat Trinity in the championship game last season. So very important series coming up on Tiger Network this weekend, as Trinity needs to bolster that conference record, make the tournament, and make a run. because they drop out of conference games like this. It becomes harder and harder to earn an at-large bid.
It's a ranked win for UMHB. Tigers ranked 24th, despite the losses they've had in the last week or so. But now you can add another one to that loss column. But you won't want to miss the weekend we have on tap for you. Friday and Saturday. Friday at 6 p.m. Saturday, not one game, but two, starting at 1 and then at 4 p.m. Our friends from Shreveport, Louisiana, making the drive down. So we hope you join us as you did tonight. It was a great one from start to finish. And for Cole Isaacson, I'm Brian Jenselson. Have a terrific Tuesday night.
My alma mater is now a nationally recognized liberal arts university, offering fully integrated arts, humanities, STEM, and professional programs. Grounded in the liberal arts, Trinity graduates students who think critically, act meaningfully, and contribute confidently throughout their careers. As for San Antonio, Trinity is an oasis in the heart of a city that serves as a cultural bridge to the Americas. We are a diverse community that values inclusion and welcomes intellectual curiosity and spirited debate. We're a city that challenges convention and welcomes new ideas. Great things are happening at Trinity University, in San Antonio, and through all our connections to our multicultural world. Join me in being part of this exciting moment.